Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Coach Me Coach podcast with your boy, Coach Hayes in the building, man. We already got the number up there. Y'all get this thing cracking. I might be a little bit. You might want to hold on, but I'm going to leave it up there. Go ahead and lock that thing in your phone as well as we call on in. So sometimes you only have to wait. We can get the queue built up before I even get there. But we was gone for a little bit. Memorial Day happened yesterday. And we back again today, man. A lot has been cracking in the news lately. So we ready to rock and roll, talk about it. It's a lot to talk about and a little bit of time to talk about it. I ain't going to be on here all night, but I'll be on here for a little bit. We got Texas Tech quarterback has been denied. Ed Orgeron, the former coach of LSU, is back at LSU. FAU players getting sued and are going too far. We're going to talk about these here right now in a minute. We already got people on the line backing up, so we good to go. How is everybody in the building? Let me check out the chat. Y'all in here rocking, man, on the Tuesday. I appreciate it. Shout out to the producer in the building. I always got the one-liners. Ninjas get sued every day, B. LMV, you got 5 minutes. Top right-hand corner. 5 minutes. Top right-hand corner. You on punishment. All right, here we go. We got Barson Neck. Who? I don't know what you mean by that. Project Vince in the building. Ran off on the plug twice. We're going to find out. We're going to talk about it. Project Vince, I don't know, you may have changed your name, but you in here rocking in the chat. I don't recognize this name, so maybe you are somebody else and you decided to change your name, but I do appreciate you coming through if you are new, man. I'm sure this is just the beginning. Many other athletes probably tired of running off with the bag. We're going to chop it up and talk about that as well. We got Shock in the building and said, bless up, chat. Bless up. Huh? Shout FAU done gone too far, man. We're going to talk about it. Anything is everything. Coach, got y'all on here waiting, knowing he's going to be late. Laugh out loud. I bet Coach will be at least 5 minutes late. Well, I wasn't. Homeboy. How about that? Well, I wasn't. Owens T, another member in the building. How are you late to a time you set? That's PBS. Listen, it is. It is PBS. Huh? That stands for baller player status. That's what PBS stands for. You right. I'm a baller, I'm a player, and it's my status. I ain't gonna lie. Coach was out there trying to get a walk on today, man. We ain't doing no running. Your knees ain't working in the building. Appreciate it. I like the fact y'all like me, like, hey, y'all be on me. Look at this. Elite Cuban Kane. I'm gonna sue Hayes for not playing me in pencil fight. I already broke your pencil, bro. Look, it's broken. Damn. This guy don't ever stop. America's Most. Hey, it's one of them days right here, boy. It's a cube day today. What we about to talk about. It's an ice cube day today. Okay. Project Vince says, first time catching it live. I appreciate all your work. All right. Well, Project Vince, thank you, man. I appreciate you stopping through. As always, man. Everybody that's just coming in. Jason Coleman, what's up with you, bro? How you doing? And David Staples in the building. What's up, Coach and Canes fam? It's all about the you. Speaking of that, I'll talk about it, but I just saw Darius Hayes got 8 years. If you don't know, he was a linebacker for the Miami Hurricanes, got into a car accident. I believe he killed 3 people in that car accident, and I think they gave him 8 years for that. I think it was vehicular manslaughter. I don't know if it was homicide. Maybe it was manslaughter. I'm not sure, but he got 8 years for that, but I just saw that literally right before I hit the live button. But we'll talk about that more tomorrow when we talk some more Miami news. But that's so unfortunate, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this deal right now. Let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about the Texas Tech quarterback being denied, which is Brendan Sorsby. I talked about this before. He admitted to a gambling issue, gambled on everything, all type of stuff, admitted it, came out, said he's going to take some time away. They tried to get him reinstated, and the NCAA denied him. They denied his reinstatement. So I don't know if he's going to sue and some judge is going to come back and allow him to come back. I don't know how all that works. But I just want to put that out there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these other stories, but for him, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I mean, you're gambling on all type of stuff. They tell you don't do it, but you do it, and stay away from it. Just say no to gambling. Next, Ed Ogeron is in the building. He's going back to LSU. Everybody knows he was a former head coach at LSU, arguably, which I don't see as being an argument, of having one of the greatest teams of all time, the 2019 LSU Tigers. But of course, the Hurricanes are always going to be number one. But that's just me. I digress. But anyway, again, he was fired, I believe, 2 years later, gave him a $17 million buyout. And the AD came to him and told him, said, Coach, I got good news and bad news. He said, lay it on me. He said, the good news is we're going to give you $17 million for you to leave. He said, wow. Well, what's the bad news? Well, we got to fire you. He said, well, what time you want me to leave and what door you want me to go out of? And he left. And Coach Ed Ogeron has been around, especially around the Miami program a lot. I believe his son is a coach on the staff. Been hanging out with the co-eds, if you put it out that way. And now he's back at LSU. I think this is a big power move for LSU. They've been spending big bags on the recruiting. You have unlimited coaches now. Coach Ed Ogeron will not be a position coach, but he'll be like a special assistant to the defense and in the recruiting room. Everybody loves Coach Ed Ogeron. He's from Louisiana. He speaks that, I don't know what they call it, French Cajun or something like that. There's a video. I meant to bring it up, but there's a video of him speaking swamp people. That was like, throw them. They talking all type of gibberish up there. But anyhow, they having a good time doing it. But everybody loves Ed Ogeron. Everybody knows how he is on the recruiting trail. I remember him telling the story about Adrian Peterson that kind of went viral on the internet. I believe AP's dad was incarcerated and wanted him to come to USC, and he was trying to get him Creole French. Thank you, beloved Sandworm. But wanted him to come, and they was, he was talking about trying to maybe get his dad moved out to California so he could see the games and all that kind of stuff. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, he's speaking swamp man. I don't know what it was. Threw them, crawfish, threw them. I don't know what he's talking about. All right. Now, let's get to the real deal Holyfield here. The real deal Holyfield. Let me do this. I wanted to play this because I thought it was important. It's going to give a lot of backstory to FAU and what's happening. A lot of people have seen this break here lately. And I got some real strong thoughts about this, but I want to play this news clip because I think it's going to give a very good backstory to what's happening and what's going on. And then we'll definitely come in and I'll break down some information that I have pertaining to this story. Like you said, I'm not a breaking news channel by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do have some information I would like to pass on. And I think we could definitely look at it. Let me see here if I can get it up. Here we go. Yep. All right. Get out of here with all that foolishness, man. Doing too much. Okay. All right, let me play this news clip and then we'll be back and we'll talk about it. Definitely. Let me see.
A new twist in the wild world of college sports. Florida Atlantic University now suing 4 of its former football players. The school claims those players had broke their contract and owe thousands of dollars. It's the first university in the state to take legal action and among the first cases testing just how far schools can go to enforce NIL deals and what happens when those athletes walk away. CBS 12 News reporter Victoria DeCardenas is joining us. She has more on that lawsuit and how this could change the big picture.
Hey, good evening, Jim. FAU is seeking $69,000 from those 4 athletes who they say broke their contract. Now, I spoke with a sports law expert who tells me that this case could test how enforceable these contracts are as schools across the nation continue to navigate this fast-changing world of college athlete pay. In today's college sports landscape, players aren't just athletes, they're brands. With NIL deals now worth thousands, even millions, those agreements are starting to look more like professional contracts. And when things fall apart, the consequences can follow them to court. Florida Atlantic University is now suing 4 of its former football players, Asad Wasim, Tyler Stolsky, Zion Pare, and Jamari Sands. The lawsuit claims the players violated their contracts by transferring to other schools. Under those deals, if a player transfers, they could owe back half of any unpaid licensing fees.
Initially, we saw universities being a little hesitant to sue the athletes, and so we saw them maybe going after other universities who are poaching their athletes. I think now we're starting to see universities feel more comfortable going after the athletes themselves.
David Weber is not involved in this case, but leads the sports law program at the University of Oregon. He says as college sports becomes more professional, we're starting to see real-world legal consequences.
And when the athletes breach, they're saying, well, you owe us this harm on the back end. And it's really difficult for us to figure out what those damages would be. So it's tough to assess what your value is in terms of NIL.
Last December, President Donald Trump warned schools could, quote, wipe themselves out financially.
The most successful colleges are losing money. And I think the NIL is a disaster for sports.
At least 3 universities have sued athletes for a breach of contract, seeking anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars to $1 million.
And something ought to be done, and I'm willing to put the federal government behind it.
Washington has tried to step in with proposed laws and even a White House executive order, but so far there's still no national rule book for NIL. With the NIL system so new, Weber advises before a player signs to make sure they read the entire playbook.
Hiring a specialist, hiring an agent, hiring a lawyer to help walk them through that situation is going to be the safer pathway for them.
Now, the university also wants a judge to decide on the clause requiring the player to pay back half after transferring school holds up, or if it crosses the line under Florida law. We have reached out to the university for comment, but we have not yet heard back. Reporting live in Boca Raton, Victoria DeCardenas, CBS 12 News.
All right. There's a lot of information there, man. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. Let's get this thing jumping. So FAU has decided to sue these players. And here's the gist of it. That was the news report. But here's what's important. And I want to kind of lay this deal out if we can. So I might be on this road for a little bit. If you want to call in, please feel free. But I might be down this road because I also want to talk about some contract information that I have as well. But here's what's happening, okay? NIL, name, image, and likeness, all right, is being paid to players for their name, image, and likeness. Got that, okay? Those kind of contracts are supposed to be away from the university. That is something that is done outside entities, different businesses, whatever, Google, Nike, whatever, not the university. They're not supposed to be tied to that. However, if FAU is suing these players, then it's not name, image, and likeness. It's revenue sharing. And I want to be clear with this. A lot of people are using that term, name, image, and likeness, NIL, but this is revenue sharing. And here are the inside information in regard to these 4 players and what they were receiving. This is all public record, so it's not like I'm not breaking any news here, okay? So based on this report here, and there's other people talking about this, the lawsuit claims that these players violated their contracts by transferring to other schools. This is key. According to the contract, if a player transfers, they are liable for 50% of any unpaid licensing fees. So here are the breakdowns. FAU is seeking $30,000 from Asad Wasim, $18,000 from Stolsky, $12,000 from Parrott, if I'm saying that correctly, and $9,000 from Sands. So, as it says, 50%. So Wasim should have gotten $60,000. They're saying we want 30 of it. Stokely, $18,000. So his deal was $36,000. Okay. Parrott is $12,000, so his is $24,000 in total, and Sands is $9,000, which would have been $18,000. We're not talking major money here, but here's what's important: you're suing these players for something that's not rendered yet, and I know y'all gonna talk about contracts, and let's find out. But here's what I'm trying to get an understanding. You're looking at a contract that's a year long. The year hasn't even taken place yet. The year starts in January, right? These players transferred out in December of 25. This contract starts in January of 26 through December of 26, right? They are no longer at FAU. They're at their respective schools. You are suing these players for something they're not even doing. And again, I want this to be clear. This is revenue sharing. So apparently whatever these monies or these agreements were, we're dealing with the revenue share, not NIL. There's a difference here. I want people to understand that. Okay, there's a big difference here. And with that being said, here's where the problem lies. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I play one on TV. And what I'm not understanding is you're trying to get money from a player that you haven't given them. See, it's not different that you've given them money, right? And they didn't fulfill their contract. They hadn't even started that particular contract. But here's where the catch is. And this is how a lot of schools, because I got some story, Oregon did it to one of their players. It's a couple of more stories. We saw Darian Mensah from Duke happen to him. But we're at the G5 level right now. FAU, FIU, Louisiana Monroe's, that level of football. You're trying to get money back from players that have not been paid this money yet. And I don't understand how this is possible. It's not like they're middle of their contract and they leave in the middle of the contract. The contract apparently has not started till January. Okay. And we're not talking about a bunch of money, $60,000 for the year. Now, I don't see where it's reasonable where you have to, where these players are liable for 50% of it when they haven't done any of the work. And again, here's the difference between revenue sharing and NIL. NIL, you should, I won't say you, but should come with obligations, meaning appearances, signings, speaking engagements, commercials, print ads, because you're using your name, image, and likeness to sponsor something, or jersey sales, something to this point. But revenue sharing is players are getting a percentage of money, and we talked about this in the NCAA, who cleared $20 million per school. If y'all don't remember that way back. $20 million per school to split up how they choose amongst their athletic department. If they want to throw the whole 20 into the football, it's their discretion. But the NCAA is saying, you got 20 million. Cut the pie however you want. We don't care. You're allowed to spend 20 million. If you want to give 19 million to one player and everybody else get $1, then so be it. But at the lower level, it's not that much. It's not 20 million. It may be 2 million, 2 to 3 million, somewhere in there. And so, of course, that is nowhere near the amount of money the big boys are getting. So that's why these numbers are where they are. But here's what's key. And this is where I always say, here's where the problem is going to happen. These players leaving these smaller schools, the smaller schools want to be reimbursed in some form of fashion. But in this case, these players had not received their money. They're telling you they're getting paid monthly is divided by 12. Well, the year hadn't started yet. The year had not started yet. So your payments haven't even begun, if this makes sense. All right. And I want people to be clear about this. And this is what's getting real shaky because there's no real laws. There's no guardrails to this. Well, what's up? You said, did they receive the fund? No. It wasn't starting until January. These players transferred in December. So here's the key. And this is where the problem lies. Sorry, I might have his mic up way too loud. Is that too loud? Is that good? Here's where the problem lies. Apparently with FAU, and I'm only bringing them up because I'm talking about them right now, but this is a lot of schools are doing it. You're going to find a way to lock these players in going forward. You're trying to lock them in going forward. And remember, I talked about making players whole or making people whole. So, Wood, I know you said it's July to July, but I'm looking at some contracts here, and that's not what it states. I won't be able to put this up here for some confidentiality stuff. However, those are not the dates that's on this. So to your point, you say it's not an actual calendar year, right? It's a fiscal year. I get that. But this contract here is not a fiscal contract. I can tell you that right now. These contracts are being negotiated in the middle of the season. Now, so to your point now, Wood, and if you get an opportunity to call in, I would love for you to call in. But these contracts are being negotiated mid-season. Why? To try to lock the player in for the next season. And that's where I have a problem. It used to be these schools were going after the other school. Now they're going after the players, like they said in the report. People, the guy, the whatever he was, management law person, whatever he was. They're going after these players now for this money. And here's something else I'm going to say. They're holding these contracts over the player's head to sign them. Because everybody's going to say, well, why did you sign it? Well, here's my question. You're negotiating in the middle of the season. If you're negotiating in the middle of the season, you trying to get your numbers, you balling this, that, and that. And if you don't sign it and somebody comes to you and say, hey, well, if you don't sign it, then we ain't got no place for you. What do you think most of these players are going to do? They're going to sign it. They're going to sign it. I don't want to give time frames, but just know this is in the middle of the season. Based on what I'm looking at. And so I go in and say, that's where my problem is. You're holding these kids hostage financially because you have the leverage as a university. If I'm a player, middle of the season, week 6, week 7, hey, man, we need you to sign this contract, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, from January of 26 to December of 26. But, Coach, I don't really agree with that. Maybe the player knows in his head he's trying to transfer, numbers looking pretty good, might get a higher level. Again, we're talking FAU, Louisiana Monroe, Marshall, those, G4 school, G5 school, excuse me. But I still got the remainder of the season to go. So what does that mean? If I don't sign it, maybe you take me off the field. Maybe you don't hand the ball off to me. Maybe my reps get limited in the game. Maybe I'm no longer starting. So now you're holding the leverage over the player's head to basically sign this thing for January. And then in December, when the season is over, hey, all right, coach, all right, I signed it. And then here come the big boys. Hey, bro, man, we like what you did over there, whatever, however that goes. I'm not getting into the logistics of how transferring goes, but the big boys come, and instead of you making $18,000 or $36,000 for a year, they may want to pay you $100,000. They may want to give you $100,000. But yet FAU saying, wait a minute, well, we got this contract you signed. We got this contract you signed, and you owe us 50% of what we was going to pay you. Huh? But coach, that's for January. I'm leaving. Yeah, but you signed this contract. But did I sign it under duress, coach? Now, let's go back, because I know these questions are going to come, and I hear you. Well, coach, like the guy said, well, you better get some NIL guy or some lawyer to look at it. Yeah, but that NIL guy or lawyer, he already paid this kid trying to make it. Hey, I suggest you don't sign it. Yeah, you can suggest that, and I understand that. But when you go back to your mansion, NIL manager, lawyer, and I don't sign it, and I go back to the locker room, and I go from getting 17 carries a game, I get 3. When I go from playing 80, 90% of the snaps as a linebacker, I'm on kickoff, punt return, punt team. See, everybody want to talk about, man, let the players get paid. Let the players get paid, man. Yeah. But look what's happening. Look what's happening. And that's the problem. I'm looking at the chat, but I'm not going to respond to the chat right now because I want to stay focused. That's one. But 2 is I hope you guys will call in. I really want to talk about this. I don't really want to respond to this, and maybe I missed a piece of that, and I caught half of the comment, because this right here really pisses me off, because now you're taking advantage of the shorty again. See, when people thought NIL, the players got the upper hand. The pen is mightier than the sword. They're going to always find a way to have the leverage. And that's the problem I have, especially for services not rendered. When services are not rendered, I got a real issue. Now, if a kid was playing, then I got a different story. My problem, can I tell you my real problem? They shouldn't be going after the shorty. Because let's be honest here. I mean, no disrespect to FAU by no stretch of the imagination. But if I had an opportunity, I believe it's Stolsky, I think he was a receiver. If I had an opportunity to play at FAU or West Virginia, I'm going to West Virginia. Country roads, take me home to a place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. That's way better than who, if you understand me. So the real problem is not the players. The problem is that the G5s need to be fighting NCAA, or however that goes, but not the player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. This is the game. See, When I told y'all a long time ago, if you've been on this channel long enough, that word family, y'all know I don't curse on this show. Shout out to The Wire. If anybody ever come talk about family to me, I'm out. I'm out. So when that coach be like, yeah, you know, send poor little Timmy here, man. We love him, man. We like family here. But when I want to go better myself at a bigger league, no disrespect to you, coach, I get it. But hey, West Virginia is a bigger league than FAU. And now you will come back and sue me for the money? And here's what's funny. You're suing me for money I don't have. That's my problem. I want y'all to understand this. You're suing me for money you have not given me yet. So where is this player supposed to get $18,000 from? Where is this player supposed to get? Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. Wasim, $30,000. FAU is seeking $30,000 from Wasim, $18,000 from Stolsky, $12,000 from Parrott, and $9,000 from Sands. Where in the hell are they supposed to get $30,000 from that you haven't even given them yet? $18,000, $12,000. Where are they supposed to get this money from? See, it's different if you're telling me to pay me back for what I gave you and you didn't render a service. That makes sense. And here's the real funny thing. So base is 50%. So let's say 30,000. His deal was 60,000. 60,000. You want 30,000 back. Well, I'm gonna show you how nasty this game is. Here's what I'm gonna show you how nasty this is. Your deal for me was 60,000. Let's just put the numbers out here because this is public record. And we can pick any of these guys. I'm just doing 30 because it's easy math. 60,000. That comes out of your quote unquote budget. So remove 60,000. You haven't paid me 60,000 yet. I leave. That 60,000 is going back in your budget. But watch the trick. Let's just say he paid back the 30,000 they asked for. Now you got 30 more thousand added to your budget to add to more players. Say what? So you just gained 30,000 more dollars that you could use in other revenue sharing, whatever it is. That's the nasty part. You budget me for 60. You want to penalize me 30, 50% of this, which is 30. I leave early. You get your 60, I don't want to say back, but it's deleted from the budget as it being used. So that's goes back. Then you want me to pay 30 in penalty. So that gives you now 90. What? Now here's the stank part. We finna get real deep. Cali Mike, I see you. Shaka, I see you. Hold tight on the line. 862-799-9956. I agree with you, Wood. They did sign the contract with the penalty clause. That is in the contract, yes. But they did it under duress. You're negotiating in the season. What if I don't want to sign this, coach? Now what happens? What if I say, coach, no, I agree with everything, but I don't agree with the 50% penalty. Now what? Here's the nasty piece. And this is why I talk about universities. It's a business. In these contracts, and I'll read this part of the contract. Let me see. I have it notated. I'm a lawyer. I'm an internet lawyer. Okay, here we go. Termination and renewal. And this is straight from their contract. The university may choose to terminate this agreement, in parentheses, and student athlete may be temporarily suspended or permanently removed from the team. In the university's sole and absolute discretion, if student athlete 1 fails to meet the eligibility and good standing requirements referenced above, voluntarily withdraws from their team, or is otherwise ineligible for intercollegiate competition under NCAA rules or university policies. Okay. 2, fraudulently misrepresents any information on an application, letter of intent, or financial aid agreement, including providing false or misleading information on any official athletic department forms or documents, sport medicine forms, compliance forms, etc. 3, engages in misconduct resulting into substantial disciplinary penalty. 4, fails to exhibit proper personal conduct in any way that materially and negatively impacts their NIL value as determined in the sole discretion of the university. 5, becomes academically disengaged, low or no class attendance, failure to participate in activities related to academic success. 6, fails to enroll in the university, withdraws from the university, provides written notification or transfer or enters the transfer portal. And 7, breaches the agreement or publicity agreement. Well, here's my problem. Are you still going to pay them if any one of those were to happen? No, because you just said we can terminate it. But here's the key about 1. Watch this. It doesn't say you're going to sue them if any of those happen except 1. Watch this now. Follow me now. Huh? Matlock ain't the only one got this. We just had a player, and this is so unfortunate, but I'm going to use this as an example. We just had our player, our Darius Hayes, just was sentenced to 8 years in prison for the accident he had. I forgot where he's from, Sebastian, Florida, somewhere like that, where 3 people were killed in a car accident. Got 8 years. He had an NIL deal. Was he being sued? No. For his money? No. We've had players kicked off the team for doing things? No. The only one that I've seen consistently, not just FAU, but Oregon, they just did. I pulled that up too. They just sued some kid for $39,000 because he decided to go to another school. I'll pull that up too. Darian Mensah and multiple others. The only time they're being sued for the money is if they decide to transfer to another school. So basically, they're being penalized for going to another school. Not doing anything wrong. Not because they're not going to class. Right? Not for unaliving some people, but because they want to go to another institution. That's the problem. The problem is, out of all of those termination and renewals, these kids are now being sued. For what? They're being sued because they want to go to another institution. Now let's flip it. What about the players that get cut from the team? What about the players? And I shouldn't use it, but I'm going to do it. What about the players that are not Louis luggage? And I'm not trying to bring them in. I'm using it as a term because everybody understands what happened with Colorado and they kind of push people out the door. What about those players that receive college scholarships? And coach comes in and says, well, you're not, you ain't it. Are they going to still get paid? I'm just saying. See, the problem is they want their cake and eat it too. They want their cake and eat it too. And that's why I really have an issue. I don't know who's behind this, whether it's the head coach, the business manager, the athletic. I don't know who's behind the FAU thing of, hey, let's sue these players. And again, it's not just FAU. It's quite a few, but this is kind of the breaking story. So let's ride with it. But you're suing players because they want to leave. And my biggest issue is they have not provided the service yet. Where are they going to get $30,000, $18,000, $12,000, $9,000 from? And let's be honest, I mean, that is a lot of money if you don't have it. But compared to other NIL deals, this is literally peanuts. When Mensa was talking about $8 million. I'm trying to see here. Hold on one second. I apologize. And 50%, and you heard this in the news story. They said in the news story that FAU, unless I heard this incorrectly, I can play it again. 50%, they're trying to see if that stays up to Florida law. They're trying to say, they threw it in here, but they're trying to say, hey, we don't even really know if this holds up in Florida law. We're going to see what the judge say. Shout out, yeah. Damian Wilson was charged $390,000 when he left Georgia to go to Missouri. Quite a few players go through this. But I think this really made the news because of the level of school. But here's the key, though, Juan. Damian paid it back. That's the key, brother. Damian Wilson paid it back. These dudes got to pay it forward. That's the problem I'm really having. And the reason they're doing that is because you can now hold them hostage because you're negotiating in the middle of a season, right? You're negotiating in the middle of a season. What if I'm balling? What if I'm balling? Let's just throw a scenario. Poor little Timmy out here balling. Yeah. West side. Shout out to Q. Little Timmy at running back right now. That boy out there looking like let me see here. Ashton Genty. Looking great. All. Let's say week 7. Let's see, you start in August, 4 months. Let's say September. October mid-season. Hey, Timmy, listen, man, we want to renegotiate this paper right here, buddy. Your contract here, we're going to get you this X, Y, and Z. All right, coach, let me take a look at it. Is that another? Come back 2-3 days. Well, coach, I got some concerns, man. You got on here 50% for the money. But then what if I don't want to, coach. I don't really want to. But let's just say, University of Miami come calling, coach. Go Kings. You want me to give you back 50% of something I haven't even earned yet? Well, I don't really agree with that, coach. I don't agree. I think 50% is extremely high. Okay, well, Timmy, I'm coach now. Timmy, I really understand that, and I get where you're coming from, and I understand. And I know you had your lawyer look over it, and I know you had representatives look over it, and your family, and we really want you to hear. We really like you here at FAU, and I understand that Miami's calling and Florida's calling and all those things, but right now you're rolling heavy. But if you don't sign that, I'm gonna just have to start getting my next guy ready. I'm gonna get poor little Johnny more reps because you might not be here. What do y'all do? I'm just asking a question. What do y'all do? What do you do? Just think of it as a parent. Let's just be honest. Let's not sit back and Monday morning quarterback this. Literally put yourself in your shoes, talking to your son, and you have an opportunity to take it to the next level. And coach kind of said in a roundabout way was, if you don't sign it, I'm gonna have to go with somebody else. Just asking. And that's my issue. That's the issue right now. If you don't sign it, I have an issue. Sometimes a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Hear what I just said now? Sometimes a bird in the hand, i.e. the contract, is better than two in the bush. Because what if Miami backs out and they find a gangster and they don't come get me and I didn't sign it? I done screwed myself. See, that's the tough thing about this. That's the hard part for these players. Now, I'll go back and say this. Let's not make the exception the rule in this case. Let's not look at some of the top, highest paid players in NIL, revenue sharing, whatever, and compare them to this situation. I think it's a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different. You tell me. Real quick, I got Cali Mike on the line. I got Shaka on the line. You guys, please feel free to call in. I would love to hear your point of view, as well as I'm gonna get to my my going too far moment. This right here is ridiculous. And I hate to say this, but what I'm about to anyway, I'll get to that in a second. This is the dirty work of the NIL era. This is the dirty work of the transfer portal era. This is the dirty work when all this money comes involved. Now, I'm going to just say this. I did a show a couple weeks ago. Hoodoo Clown TV, what's up, studio? Remember I said that the bigger schools should pay the smaller schools? Y'all laughed at old coach. Because I knew this day was going to come. I knew this day was going to come. And I have to say this. I have a problem with the language because I'm an attorney on YouTube with no degree and no credentials. And I did pass the bar. I passed 2 of them, matter of fact, because I didn't want them to drink. What I'm not understanding, and I've never understood this, how is this, per this contract, says NIL, license agreement, name, image, and likeness, and schools were not supposed to be attached to NIL in no stretch of the imagination? In their own contract. Whereas student athlete is a highly visible person whose name, image, and likeness, in parentheses, NIL, as defined below, has been determined by the university to have economic value, and that the continuing visibility over the course of the academic year the academic year provides a material inducement for the university's entry into this agreement. And the university is in the business of marketing and promoting the university's educational and athletic programs. And the university and student athlete desire to enter into this agreement to permit the university's use of student athletes' NIL for economic or revenue-based purposes. So I don't understand the language that's in their contract using the word NIL when they're not supposed to touch. That's just me. I just Coach Hayes talking. And I'm looking at this contract, Wood. It's not fiscal year dates. I'll just say that. I hear what you're saying, and it may be done at particular places, but this particular institution is not done during the fiscal year. This is a little wacky right here, baby. And I think you're taking advantage of these players. I think you're taking advantage of, I don't want to say them being naive, but their hunger to succeed. And you're using the leverage over their head. You're using their dream against them. And that's where I have an issue. Really quickly, I want to play my gone too far moment. Please feel free to start the queue here. 862-799-9956. We're going to rock and roll this deal. I'll look at some of the comments too and respond. I just didn't want to get off track. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Let me go ahead and play this gone too far. And this done went real. This went really far. Some of y'all going to be like, I'd love to see some of y'all comments about this. Some of y'all in the same boat. Anyway, let's get this thing rocked. Man, look at this bathroom, bro. How on God's green earth you gone too far? Is that a fly trap in the bathroom? What on God almighty? Bro, the tub need a bath. Look at this tour. How you sit your naked behind it? Bro, how, Sway? How? How would you sit, man? Bruh. The sad part about all this, you still in these people's house. This must be a party. Look how she dressed up. Look at the garbage on the door. Now, I don't believe this is her because I hear her. You can kind of hear her whispering, "Oh my God, what is this?" And this look like a dude's house because there's some clippers, a pick, all these razors. Oh, you know what? She might be coming to his house on a date. I just realized it. She might be coming to his house on a date and asked to use the bathroom. I just realized it. This might be a dude's room. Bro, the tub need a bath, bro. I'm sorry. I just want to stop it on one thing. I want to stop it on one thing. This is the crazy part. Watch this. Is that a roach? Is that a roach up there? Yes. But watch this. Bro, what is this? Is that the fly strip? Is that a fly strip? I'm done with it. You're gone too far, Bretron. You're gone too far. V12, that's dirty word right there, Kenna. V12 got someone in his bathroom. Damn, I'm gonna tell my dog. I'm snitching. I'm snitching. I'm snitching. First of all, the fact she stood up is crazy. Anyway, let me get to these phone lines. Let me chop it up right quick. We got quite a few on here. I know I normally let you guys run a little bit, but let me do this. If you don't mind, let's kind of get through some of these calls. If it slows down, please feel free to call back in. But I don't want to hold people on here. Like I know I could talk to, but I do want to get maybe a point or two in and then we'll move on. And if it dies off, you're more than welcome to come back. Or if you want to say, Coach, I'll hold on to give other people a chance, I'm cool with that. It's not kind of like in the season, you got 2 minutes. I ain't gonna do you like that. 862-799-9956. Let's go start off with my man Shaka, been here before the show started. Shock, talk to me. Are these people out there doggone mind? Are they doing these shorties wrong? What's up?
Yeah, I'm in and out tonight, Coach. Yeah, they out their mind, man. I'm FAU a joke for that. I won't be too long-winded. And I know OST and them guys are some contract type guys. Cali might know all that stuff. I don't feel no sympathy for the schools, Coach. To me, this is very comparable to the way the music business did artists for generations. It ain't no difference. It's poor kids from the hood trying to get in the industry, poor kids from the hood trying to play ball. And they exploit them on both ends, man. This is just a joke. If you're going to all this talk about I did see E. Brown say, once you enter the workforce and everything, yada yada yada, you're a professional. Okay, true enough. My thing is, to that, if that's the case, then once you determine that a kid in high school is potentially talented enough to get NIL and sign scholarships and all that, then get them out of gym class and teach these kids the lingo of this stuff. Educate these kids on all this contractual stuff. Let it be a level playing field. And then from there, if you want to say they got to suffer the consequences of being quote-unquote semi-pro or whatever, or virtual pros, then okay, yeah. But they count on these kids' ignorance, because so 18, 19, 20, 21 year old is supposed to be able to negotiate with 60-year-old attorneys, with university presidents, and then everybody say, well, he should have read the contract. He should have got, like, what are we talking about? A couple of weeks ago, you talked about why not let the high school coach represent the kid in NIL. Mm-hmm. This is an example of why not. Because now I let my high school coach represent me, and then when these kind of things pop up, what I look like with my high school coach trying to navigate me through a legal situation like this.
So I'll just say this, Shaka. I'll just say this to your point. I think you make a very valid point. But what I did say was that what if he was qualified, meaning he took the classes, he did what he was supposed to do to be right. That's all I was saying. Well, but I just want to make that. I just want to put that caveat in there.
I didn't say that to strike down what you were saying.
No, I agree.
I'm just saying, like, realistically, I mean, I guess if the coach is qualified, quote unquote, I don't know many high school coaches who have that level of legal expertise, but if so, okay, that's cool. But I think that's far between. You're gonna find that, and realistically. Mm-hmm. But yes, it's twisted against the kids, man. I don't got no sympathy for these schools. Mm-hmm. Boo-hoo. Yeah. Whatever, man. I won't talk to that coach. I know T. Owens and Kelly Mike and them guys bigger on contractual and things. I think it's ridiculous, though. Good luck to FAU with recruiting going forward. I tell you that. Good luck to them, because I wouldn't send my cousin, my son, my nephew, none of them boys. Nah, y'all straight. We'll go somewhere else. That's how y'all playing.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all boys talk. We ain't got much to say. It's crazy, coach. It's ridiculous, man. It's just, hey, man. I tell you, boy.
Yeah,
it's in the end with 1865, boy. They find a way to bring 1865 back no matter what, boy.
For sure.
1860, whatever, 1860, 18, whatever it was. But
yeah.
It's a dirty game, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Shaka.
All right, cool.
My man. Shout out to Shaka in the building. Real quick, I talked about the Oregon story. I just want to bring this up. Oregon files lawsuit seeking $10,000 from a player who transferred. Right? Listen to this. The University of Oregon. Now we're talking Nike money here. We talking about $10,000. And we talking Nike money. Right? The University of Oregon says one of its former football players owes it $10,000, and the school is willing to go to court to get it. The school filed a lawsuit in Lane County Circuit Court last week against Dakota Fields, a defensive back who spent 2 years with the Ducks before transferring to Oklahoma in January. The lawsuit said Oregon and Fields agreed that Fields would pay the university $39,882 in exchange for a release of liability from his contract with the school. Under the agreement, if Fields paid the discounted amount of $29,000, so they gave him a $10,000 discount, on or before April 20th, the school would waive the remaining $10,000. Fields missed the deadline, so the amount due reverted to the original $39,000. The lawsuit said despite multiple requests, Fields has failed to pay the $10,000, the balance due of April 20th. The school, the kid paid y'all $29,000, but he missed the deadline. Imagine how much money that, man, y'all, this right here, I'm telling you, man. And this is the same thing. Georgia sued Damon Wilson for $390,000 after he left for Missouri. And Cincinnati sued Brandon Swordsby for $1 million when he went to Texas Tech. Before a settlement was reached, Duke argued that Darian Mensah owed it $8 million when he left for Miami. Washington threatened Damon Williams with a breach of contract lawsuit when he entered the transfer portal after last season, he decided to return to Washington. See, this is not just an FAU deal, but it's a deal. All right, Callie Mike on the line. Talk to us. Oh, Louetta Wilson, the Wilson Report, and then we got another caller on the line. Talk to us, Callie.
Check this out. Okay, what usually happens, right? The contracts start in January because transfer portal is in January. So what they do, what the school want to do, is get you signed before portal time. So if somebody come a calling, they have that piece of paper, and like I said, what they do, say you having a good season or whatever, or they think they hearing from the agent that you're gonna leave, because the agent negotiate both ways. What he'll do is say, little Timmy here, he got 800 yards in 3 games, and I'm getting calls. You paying him 60, but I can get him 120.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give me this, that, and the other. So what the school will do, they'll come back with 90, and they'll they'll threaten you with the playing time. They'll get you to sign. Okay, you sign, but let's say January rolls around. You done signed, but let's say a tailback leaves from a school that wasn't expected to leave. And they'll go down their list, and they'll come get you.
Mm-hmm.
And the school will threaten to sue you for the 90. But if, let's say, the Power 4 schools, what they do, they pay you the money. They'll find some way to slip you, a la Damon Wilson. They'll slip you $390,000 for the school. You'll do something for it, like a commercial or whatever. But they'll give you the money. These kids ain't paying that. Don't believe that. But now that what you talking about, that FAU, FIU stuff, is real dirty work, because a lot of these kids ain't going to these big schools. They may go to a school that's on the same level as FAU or FIU, and them schools ain't gonna pay that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you do have the opportunity to go to Texas or Texas A&M, they're gonna wipe that little money away with no problem. But that, the contracts are January because of the portal, and they do it in December, usually November, December. They want to get you signed before portal time hit, because it's only one portal window. I want to say it's like January 16th to January 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So what they doing, they coming and getting you. They want you to sign, but it's not liable. What will happen, like if we look at the Mensa thing, man, they know they're going to lose. So what they'll do, they'll go to court. They'll push it. But they knew they settled because they knew they was going to lose. And they didn't get no $8 million for that. They may have gotten half the money. But half the money is more than no money. And when you ain't spent no money, you understand what I'm saying? He ain't got that.
It wasn't me, y'all. It wasn't me. His phone fell off. It wasn't me. He had to call back. He was making some good points, right? He was making some good points. Really quick before I get to Ms. Wilson on here, I just want to keep some things confidential. So I have some. Okay, I gave him an opportunity to come finish his point because he called right back. That's what I was waiting on. All right, Mike. It wasn't me.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
What's happening? Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. It's only with your line, man. You got something against the coach. But no, what happens is you signed early. You have not received his money. So the universities are hustling the other universities because they know, damn it, so ain't got no $4 million to pay Duke. But if you Duke, you go to court you push the $8 million deal, and you'll settle for half of it, but you ain't spent none of it. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. That's the deal. Even Georgia, you ain't spent the money that you getting back. You may have spent some of it, and only way that they get money, because you can't go back and get money for services already rendered. If I did perform the action already, if let's say I sign you for $500,000 as a freshman, your freshman year, but you played your freshman year. You played and you fulfilled that contract. I gave you the $500,000. I can't go if you turn around and leave. I can't go back and get something because you already performed that service. This money is for futures. It's like, but the kid is under duress. So a good lawyer gonna beat it every time, but how many people got the money to go get a good lawyer? You making a kid pay for something that you know that he can beat, but he's still coming out of his pocket, and a lot of that is intimidation. You want to intimidate. You don't want the kid to, because he see, oh Lord, they come after me for money, blah 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 blah. But the better players don't experience that. I mean, this is why I make it dirty work, because it's done to the kids that ain't gonna be playing at these Power 4 schools. Because the Power 4 schools gonna take care of that. You think if Texas want a kid and FAU got him, you think Texas gonna let FAU hold this kid that they want that's gonna play for Texas? It ain't gonna happen.
Right, I understand.
But it's the kids that get trapped. But the schools pay the money. Trust me, they pay. They slip it to you some kind of way, but
that's fair.
It's done like that. But you cannot. Once it's not for when people try to say he paid the money back. If you play and they paid you for playing that year, you have fulfilled that contract. These are for futures. These ain't for this season, like last season. These are future deals, and they ain't gonna hold up in court. But like I said, the deal is, how many kids it got money to go get a lawyer at a FAU.
There you go.
When he looking at, like I said, maybe he transferring to another school for playing. Maybe going to a FAMU because he said I can go over there and play. Or maybe he playing half the time at FAU, and he doesn't sign this deal, but something comes up and he wants to leave.
Right.
But he wants to go to a smaller school. And they know the smaller schools ain't got that money to pay, but now, when you start talking Power 4s, that's a whole different ballgame. It don't even work like that with them. It's just the kids you talking about at FAU that ain't going.
No, I'm sorry, Mike. What I wanted to say to your point was, as we look at these smaller level schools, these kids haven't earned enough to even pay an attorney. You understand? Like the Mensa, he made $4 million in the 1 year he played there. Now, if he burnt through his $4 million buying Lamborghinis and he don't have enough for attorney fees to fight this off, then so be it. Maybe he's I think Mensa was part of Young Money Agency or whatever it was called. Maybe they fronted the money or whatever. Or they got an attorney part of his deal. I don't know. But a lot at this particular level, at the smaller level, right? You don't have the funds to even hire an attorney to fight this because it's going to eat up everything, the little bit you have. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I think the biggest thing is like the small people, right?
It's intimidation, Coach. It's intimidation.
1,000%.
Strictly to intimidate that kid. And you blackmailing them, really, because what happens, like you said, the coach come in there and say, you at FAU, and the coach say, well, we're going to cut your carries. We want to get, just in case you do leave, we want to get these freshmen ready that
That's right.
And you may be a freshman yourself, but we want to get these other guys better ready behind you. Like I said, don't fit. Now, the ones that the Damon Wilsons, the Darian Mensahs, that don't happen to them type guys. But it comes into effect when you're talking about these schools, these smaller schools, and these kids. They do them dirty. But my thing with you, Coach, because me and you had that argument about, I told you I wanted to stay open, is nobody talk about when them kids transferring and leaving and doing these things. They talk about that like it's life or death. But nobody protects these kids at the FAUs. Nobody, because them kids ain't got no money. Like you said, they ain't got the money to go get the attorney.
And that's why I'm here.
You owe Oregon money? How a kid owe Oregon money? Man, cut that out, man.
Right.
Oregon got more money.
That's my
ridiculous.
Point. That's my point.
What they can do, and people, this would kill me, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
You got people in the chat and airwells. Oh, the kids signed a contract. Well, these people don't understand. If that kid come back and let's say he had an injury and he ain't performing up to what they like, that kid lose his scholarship. Scholarships are 1 year at a time. So it's okay for the school to rag on
there
the
you
kid
go.
and dump him.
There you go.
But when he doing good, you got to fulfill the contract. You got to fulfill the contract.
There you go.
People,
Come on, Cali Mike.
Signed the contract. He signed the contract, and then he's not playing well. They can just flat out take that.
Cali Mike, can I say something?
They can flat out.
Can I say something? We finally agree on something. Y'all clap it up. Go that dog on these buttons. Yeah, hold on. God, y'all clap it up. We finally agree on something. Listen, Cali Mike, because I'm gonna tell you like this.
Take your scholarship, coach.
I said that before. There need to be 4-year scholarships because here's why I say this. If you take, because another thing people don't realize, these players get cost of attendance, right? People don't know that. They get their Pell Grant if they're eligible. If they, if their parents are eligible to get Pell Grant, they get that back because they're on full scholarship. What I'm trying to tell you, Cali Mike, and I appreciate you saying this, is when we put the player off the team, don't nobody say, well, the school ain't fulfilled their contract. But we quick to say, when the coaches leave, they get paid. But they can't play. They need to get out of here. No.
You got somebody.
But hold on. But when you vetted me.
You got somebody in your chat saying that they signed a contract.
I know, but hold on. But when you vetted me. What
about the school signed the same contract?
The same one. Because when you vetted me, here's my problem. When you gave me that scholarship, you felt as a coach, whether it was a previous coach or whoever, you felt I was good enough to give a scholarship to come and play, right? That's what you felt. Now, if I don't work out, if I'm, like I said, as long as I'm academically eligible, I'm showing up on time, I'm not breaking school, I'm just not a player. I'm just not a player. You can't force me out the door because now, remember what you told my mama was we hear about education, ma'am. We're going to make sure your son leaves with a degree. We're going to make sure that he goes in a boy and come out a man.
Yeah, right.
We're family. All right. Anyway, I just want to say this before I go, Kelly Mick. I got to get a couple people on. I don't want to say this last thing, dog.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. That's all I want to say, Kelly Mick. Talk to me, man. We out of here.
But that go both ways, coach. That go both ways. Now,
yes, sir. 1,000%.
And I just want to say this last thing to you. Now you see why these kids, it ain't about the top kids. It's about the FAU kids and the FIU kids that's going to not get the opportunity to do that, to fulfill them dreams. They ain't going to get that chance. And that's what it's about.
I agree. Look at E. Brown. If I buy a car, sign a contract, drive to California, drive back, and I decide to take the car back, can I drop the car off and go? I don't want it. Who's responsible for that? Sir, you never drove the car. That's what we're trying to say. The car never left the lot. Anyway, I got to run. That doggone E. Brown. Matter of fact, you was here before cars was even made, E. Brown. I think you helped Henry Ford make the first carburetor. Miss Wilson, talk to us. How you feeling?
Hey, Coach Hayes. Hey, YouTube chat room.
There it is. How are you doing today? I saw you said you had many questions in the chat. See, I've been looking sometimes. So
and you're going to have to pretend I'm one of your students and explain it like that because I'm a little bit confused here.
No problem.
And I have things written down.
Okay.
So I have 4 questions.
All right.
First one is, what's the difference between an NIL and revenue sharing?
Okay, so NIL is name, image, and likeness. Like they said, this is where I use my name, image, and likeness to maybe promote products, print ads, commercials, signings, speaking engagements, where I will go, I'm being paid to render a service to said company, right? We've seen you Miami fans, so we've seen, you remember what was the quarterback we had that came from Houston? De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King, remember he did that hunks with junk, college hunks, move junk or whatever it was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Those are the type of things that are NIL deals, right? Jersey sales. You see Shador Sanders in the one, KFC and Google commercials, Travis Hunter. Those are considered NIL deals. Now, revenue sharing is what the school receives, right? The revenue in which they receive, they get a designated amount of money, right? And from my understanding, I know the Power Four gets about 20 million per school. I think it's 20 million is what they settled on. The G5s, I want to say it's 2.5, 3 million, somewhere in there. What that is a pot of money that they've allowed the school athletic department to use at their discretion to split up however they choose. Meaning, if let's just say 3 million for argument's sake. So if I give 3 million to FAU, for example, I don't know if that's the exact number, but let's say 3 million for math's sake. And I'll just say the athletic director or committee, whoever these people are, decide, hey, we're going to give the football team 1 million, the basketball team 1 million, and then everybody, all the other sports split up the other million, right? Now, within that million, I may say, I want to give V12 100,000, Coach Hayes 100,000, Shaka 100,000. Well, I only got 700,000 left to split up amongst that football team. Does that make sense? Where I'm going?
Yeah, but who gives the money to the revenue sharing?
That's the money they've earned. That's the money they earned through their revenue. So they're saying you can take your revenue.
School earns? The school earns?
Correct. So you could take your revenue and now you can share it amongst your players.
Okay.
Right.
So what if little Timmy does an advertisement for 3 different businesses in Miami?
Okay.
And he's on TV advertising. Okay. If he leaves, do the people that paid for that paid, him do the advertising, do they get upset?
Yes.
Because he's gone?
Yes. Well, and I'm gonna tell you why. And this is why it's not true. Because the NIL, that's when the whole collectives came about. And this is where the problem was. The NIL was tied to this kid going to said school, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, for example, the Kane Connection. The Kane Connection is not going to pay Cam Ward today, and he decided to go to Washington State and still pay him. That's where it's a lot of gray area, right? But they were not to be affiliated with the school, and that's where the problem lies, the kind of commingling of NIL and the school. The school was not to have any dealings with NIL. That was supposed to be outside entities like companies, people. Remember, what's the guy we had, the billionaire guy, John Ruiz?
Yeah.
He was not part of the university, but he was doing, I don't know, whatever that program he had. I forgot what it was called. Whatever it was, I forget. But that kind of stuff. And so that's where the problem is. Now, where they can get those guys. Let's say, for example, who do we have transfer? Just pick somebody. I don't know. Do you know anybody transfer? I can't think off the top of my head. Let's just say somebody that transferred out.
Who's the guy? Long time with a kid that went to Georgia, wide receiver. I forgot his
the wide
name.
receiver. Yes. Oh God, big.
Starts with the C. His last name starts with the C. I think Coley.
Oh.
Long time ago.
Anyway, Coach Hayes.
Okay.
Coach Hayes, right? I don't know why I'm making this so hard. Coach Hayes, right? Let's say, for example, I'm down there with Kane's Connection, right? And I transfer to UCLA. Part of my obligations is to do signing at Kane's Wear, right?
Yeah.
Part of my obligation is to do speaking engagements in Miami. How can I fulfill those engagements if I'm in California? That's what kind of makes it a little difficult, where you could kind of breach contract, so forth. And their contract should be a little bit different in that sense. I hope I'm explaining this right. I may be off a little bit on some, but I don't believe so. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking that, okay, why does, if the FAU, they want their money back. Is that correct?
No, these kids haven't even gotten the money yet. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like Callie Mike said, it's the futures. This money has not even been paid yet to them.
Okay.
So you're getting money for something you haven't even done yet. It's like, I don't know what's the great example. I had one earlier and I can't think of it. But it's like it's like your boss wanting you to pay back, and you ain't even started the job yet. Oh, you owe me 50,000.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I can't remember what I had, but anyway.
So, next question.
Sure.
Why don't when a athlete decides to go to school, and they're getting money to go there for being paid, why don't they get a percentage when they sign the contract, and they don't get any more money until the end of the season?
All right, say that again. You mean?
And that way, okay, let's say I get signed by Miami, play football.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll do is, I'm going to get paid by either NIL or revenue. I don't understand that part's confusing to me, but the player's getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he signs the athletic document, say I'm going to be playing at Miami,
okay,
why didn't he get a percentage of the revenue he's supposed to get? Let's say he's going to be getting like $10 million or something. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't he get a percentage of that when he signs to go to school there? And then at the end of the season, get the rest of the money.
I mean, you could structure it, but I'll
like
just
a deposit,
say, right?
Like a deposit.
So. Okay, well, I hear that, but what I will say is, most people want to get their check every 2 weeks. Some people get paid every 30 days. And again, you're rendering a service as that's going. That's the whole thing. It's kind of like you at your job. You get paid every 2 weeks because you put in 2 weeks of work. At the end of those 2 weeks,
well, then they pay them every month.
Yeah, these players were getting paid every month. And you got to remember, let's not make
the whole lump sum at the beginning. They get like $10 million at the very beginning, or they get paid out of that every month.
No, they get paid every month. But let's do this real quick, because I always tell people, let's not make the exception the rule. For example, 10 million. Yeah, I could live off of 50% of that. I could live off 5 million. But for these kids, their whole contract was 60,000. So you're only bringing in 5,000 a month, right? So if your contract was 60,000 for 12 months, you're only bringing in $5,000 a month for these kids at this particular level. And you got to remember, everybody's not making the 10 million. There's cats at Miami making 60,000. They're not our top players, but it's some cats not making a bunch of money. So it's kind of like a job, right? You provide a service, we pay you in 2 weeks. Provide a service, I pay you in 30 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like is FAU mad because they're transferring, or is FAU mad because they want their money back, or both?
Well, let me stop this. They can't give their money back because it's not anything that they've given.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, what it is, it's not really, I don't think it's really about the money. It's more of about the control to keep you from transferring and leaving. So it's a penalty. You're penalizing the players for leaving your program financially, because you can't hold them because they're allowed to transfer. But what I can do is hang this financial burden over your head. You understand what I'm saying? So it kind of deters you, or it kind of deters you, it kind of bullies you in the stain, because, it's like, like anything else.
Okay, and the last thing is, why don't they make the school they're transferring to pay that money?
Now again, it's about what you negotiate. If, let's just say, one of these kids say, "Hey, coach, you'd like me to come play for you, but here's where it gets a little rocky." But let's just say, if a kid has a high enough demand, like Callie Mike said, they'll pay it. But let's just say one of these kids up at Solski, let's say Solski, for example. I don't know the kid. I don't never heard of him until this came out. Let's say he doesn't have a real strong how do I say, value to West Virginia. Like, we'll take you. We want you. But I'm not going to pay your debts. You know what I mean? But this kid has an opportunity to go to a higher level and play.
Right.
Right? It would be, for example, like, let's take Marty Brown, the running back that came from North Dakota. Right? We like you, Marty Brown. We appreciate you. We think you can really play. But yeah, I'm not going to pay North Dakota $50,000 that you owe them for you, when I got Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lyle, Pringle. You know what I mean? You see where I'm going with that? So It's all about your value and how they view you. I think some of these players, like Miami, they paid for Mensa. Maybe they paid Mensa's debt. I don't know. I don't claim to know. And maybe they were like, hey, we need Mensa bad enough. We'll pay it off. But remember, we're talking about those high profile players. But some of these role model kids, not role model, but role player kids, are they worth it? Is he worth spending the extra $50,000 to pay him off to go to said school? I don't know.
Well, obviously, this is not thought out at all when it started.
Oh, there's no rules to it.
It was not thought out properly at all. All the scenarios that could happen, they have not thought about. They did not think about these things, right?
Right.
Of how we're in this mess.
Correct. And like I said, if these kids would have played, then I have a better understanding. But when they haven't played, then I have an issue. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my deal.
Last question. Where can I go on the internet to find this information, like all of the ins and outs of it and the rules and all that? Is there like a NCAA website or NIL website or something?
Oh, yeah. Just Google it. Yeah, you can just Google it. You can Google the information. Like if you want to Google, how do I say? Just Google. The best way I can do it is Google it. So here's the best way to do it. You asked me what's the difference. I'm going to say this and then I got another call on here.
Okay.
All right. So it says, what is NIL? Name, image, and likeness. NIL refers to an athlete's right to profit from their personal brand. Since July 1 of 21, NCAA athletes have been able to sign endorsement deals, promote products on social media, host camps, make appearances, and launch their own businesses. Okay. Revenue sharing. What is revenue sharing? Revenue sharing is a system in which schools directly share athletic department revenue with student athletes. Unlike NIL, which typically depends on outside brands, revenue sharing comes from school-controlled revenue sources. Revenue sharing may involve money generated from media rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, and other athletic department revenue streams, depending on the school, conference, sport, and implementation model. So like I said, NIL is you being able to profit off your name, image, and likeness. Revenue sharing is the money that the university has earned, like they said, through ticket sales, media rights, or whatever. They take a portion of that money and they spread it amongst their athletes in whichever way they want. All right.
All right. So the 4 players FAU have not been paid yet. Where would their money come from? The NIL or the revenue sharing pot?
Well, from my understanding, this FAU deal was revenue sharing, not NIL. Even though they're using NIL in the contract and they're saying NIL in the headlines, from my understanding, it was a revenue sharing
that makes
money exchange. And that's why the school wants their money. You know what I mean?
I see it now. It makes sense. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for class. Thank you for Mr. Teacher.
Class is in session. There we go. Ms. Wilson, I can't wait. Thank you so much. All right, man. Y'all stay tuned. She got a segment too, man. It was called the Wilson Report. When hurricanes play, she's going to come back and give us an up close and personal report on the game. All right, let me get to this next call here. Been super patient. 7854. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Hey, what's up, Coach? How you doing?
How you doing, brother? What's your name?
Man, this is AG.
AG, what's going on, brother?
What's good, man? How you doing? You ain't know the number, did you?
I did not. So talk to me. What's going on, man? I didn't know you was in the bushes back there, son. I didn't know you was in the bushes,
I was
son.
in the bushes. I'm in the bushes listening, man. You know, it's real good just to hear, you know, a lot of the people, you know, talking. And, you know, I just think that, you know, with all this stuff that's going on, I think this is a perfect time for people to truly educate themselves on this thing. I think it's very interesting. We're in some, you know, really serious times now. And it's going to be interesting to see how all this stuff shakes out.
Okay. So when you said people educate themselves, in what way? What do you think one of the biggest misconceptions is out there right now? Hello? Hello? Hello. Oh Lord, did we lose?
Oh no, that's my fault, Coach.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting fat, so my fat face hit the button. But anyway, like the young lady that you just talked to, I thought she did a tremendous job of just asking questions.
Sure.
I think that's really half the battle. You know, uh, one of the biggest misconceptions: people they just read stuff and don't try to find out for themselves. They take it as fact. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me, Coach?
I got you loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah, because right now a person could sue you because they say Coach Hayes hurt my feelings because he talked about the Miami Canes so much it really hurt me. And so just because it's in the lawsuit doesn't mean it's necessarily true. But I think that people need to educate themselves on what's really, really, really going on. At the end of the day, this is just a lot of stuff that's going on with penalties for these kids. And I think everybody ought to be able to see that. And the biggest thing, you kind of put it out there a little bit, there's only one thing. There's a whole bunch of things that can breach a contract. But there's only one thing that the school can get paid on. That's if the kid withdraws or transfers. A kid could beat a woman, get caught smoking weed, could, shoot somebody, but that don't breach the contract. The only thing that breach the contract is if he transfer. So really what what people don't understand, the NIL rules and the settlement that came down, like there can't be a penalty for transfer.
Right. Right.
Like
right.
if you read there can't be a penalty for you transferring. But all these contracts have that written up. And what the thing is, it's in every contract, but nobody ever reinforces it. Because these contracts were made really before rev share really came into play. Because remember, you had NIL before rev share came into play.
Correct.
Rev share just came into play last year.
Revenue
before
share
that, you
is
had
what he's
NIL.
saying, y'all, not red shirt. And some people thought you were saying revenue share, rev share. That's a short rev share. Revenue sharing.
Yeah,
yes.
revenue sharing. Revenue sharing. That just came out, and this is where the schools, like the Power Fours get 20 million, the Group of Fives get about 2.5 to 3 million. And they're able to share that amongst their, programs, whether like a school like Tennessee, their women's basketball program gets some good money. Connecticut, their, women's basketball program get money. Schools that have good female track programs, or good gymnast, they get some money. So every school is different. And schools is up to the ADs as to how much they want to pay, for each breakdown.
Yeah.
But, one of the things is like these contracts are being written based off of what NIL used to be, and it doesn't really consider revenue share. And for those who don't really know, NIL, you have to do something for that money. That is the most important aspect of NIL. You literally have to either go out and go talk to the kids, do some work at, Boys and Girls Club, go and provide some kind of service to get it. They cannot just give you NIL money. You have to do something to earn that money.
That is
rev share, you don't have to do nothing. You can sit on the couch, you can play PlayStation. There's nothing. You don't have to do nothing to earn that money.
Right. Basically, for rev share is for kind of put this in really layman's terms. Let me go back. NIL is, like I read there earlier, these are companies or brands that are paying you to promote their business or endorse their business, or you can create your own business. What people didn't realize before, prior to this happening, you couldn't even have your own business. Let's go back to destroying.
Correct.
Everybody knows destroying. Destroying is a YouTuber now played at UCF. He was a kicker. He was making YouTube videos while he was on UCF's football team. The NCAA came to him and said, you cannot work. You cannot earn money like this, right? You have to make a decision. And destroying decided to go with YouTube. And so if you know who Destroying is, if you don't know, type him in, big YouTuber in this space, right? And that's what he did. Now, if Destroying came along today, he would be just fine. He can make money off of his own name, image, and likeness. He just can't wear university attire. Like he can't wear UCF apparel, right? He can't wear university, it says jersey number. Now he can have a gold and black jersey on, just like you see in the NFL sometimes. They don't use NFL jersey. Now, if they got a partnership, maybe. But sometimes you see them just in the colors, right? You'll see them in the colors scheme, but not necessarily in the actual jersey. That's name, image, and likeness. revenue sharing, in essence, is basically you getting paid to play there based on what they think your value is. If you're Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, you might be making top revenue sharing, just like the job. This is our budget to pay our employees, and our top salesman, he gets the top percentage. Our second best, the bottom dude, he might get league minimum. But whatever this bucket of money is, this is all we have. And again, you're not obligated to do anything except for come to practice, do things that you need to be on the team, come to practice on time, stay eligible, go to classes. But
that's provided by the school too. And that is definitely, see, that's another thing. The revenue share is provided directly from the school.
That is correct.
NIL is now, the school has to be a part of it because it has to be in compliance with the school. But the money's coming from somewhere else. So a prime example, we use a company everybody knows. Let's say Gatorade. Gatorade wants to sign one of the kids from FAU, and they're going to give FAU $100,000. Just like any marketing deal, like, you have to pay a marketing, like you're going to pay the market, whoever set up the deal, they're going to get some money too.
Right.
So let's say now they're looking at $130,000. We're going to give this kid $100,000. FAU's going to get $30,000. Well, if that kid leaves, they truly do have a loss. They really do, if we're being honest about it. Because like you said earlier, that deal is contingent on that kid playing at FAU, not contingent on, it doesn't travel with the kid. Now they can go and take that same kid and, like Travis Hunter from, Jackson State to Colorado, they could do that. But in that particular case, that kid would not, be eligible for that money. So then they would lose something. What happens with rev share, this is money that you have for an employer. So just like if today, if Coach Hayes goes to his jobs and quits, guess what? They will bring somebody in and pay them probably either a little less, or they might even pay them a little more. But they'll use the money that they didn't give Coach Hayes, and they'll give it to somebody else.
Sure.
So they really didn't lose anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's, I think, one of the things that people don't understand. Like, if you look at this whole thing, it's really about punishing the kids for leaving. Because the reality is there's kids that leave all the time, that they just ain't go to a bigger school, and they don't like, a kid leaves FAU and go to FAMU, they are not coming to him after nothing because he didn't get nothing.
Right.
They're just trying to do the old pimp game. Like, I feel like, it's like the whole Miami thing where, they really trying to get something for nothing.
Ooh, that's what we do, baby. 305.
That's I'm saying. It's that old 305, 305, hey girl, hey, if you shake it up, I got you right here. That's what they trying to do.
Don't stop.
And then, it's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to come up. I'm sure, the biggest thing is they got to be careful, because I doubt it ever goes to court. But if they did, guess what? Now you got discovery. So discovery is, hey, show us all your paperwork. Show us everybody you paid and what you did. Man, I'm telling you, I know a lot of things because I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
It ain't just FAU. That's why a lot of these schools just leave it the hell alone. But I can assure you, just because I know everything, man, this ain't coming from the coaches and FAU. This is coming from a booster that's like, hey, why do we lose these kids? Because the kids, they're going after kids that they thought were going to be great kids.
What's funny?
And it's like, hey, we can lock.
Real quick for you push on and say that. It's funny you say that, man. And I want people to understand this too with the NIL deals, right? Some things are national commercials, right? For example, you brought up Travis Hunter, right? They doing KFC commercials. Those are national brands. But in a lot of these schools, you have a lot of local boosters, right? I don't think whoever's running KFC did go to some college, but he's not pushing KFC because he went to Michigan, for example. I don't know where he went, but let's say Michigan, for example. He's pushing it because they're pushing KFC. You have a lot of billionaires or millionaires who are, quote unquote, using NIL because they're using that as a way to support their school. For example, the guy Dave Portnoy from Michigan, who went to go get Bryce Underwood, right? That doesn't mean he doesn't have other NIL deals, but that kid in particular was because he wanted to support his alma mater in Michigan. So why would I pay you a bunch of dollars?
Like, that's going on across the board. Like all the 5-star kids, there's a big major booster that, you know, if he's a 5-star kid and he has 10 5-star offers, whoever the biggest booster is going to them, telling parents, hey, you can use my private jets, all that stuff. And that's cool. That's like, I don't have a problem with that. My issue is you're asking these kids for money you never gave them. If you gave them the money, just like in the NFL, like prime example, remember Barry Sanders? Remember Barry Sanders had signed that contract and he decided to retire? They didn't go after him for his whole what they did was they went after him for the signing bonus, and that makes sense
because they gave it to him and he didn't render service.
Right. Correct. And then same thing with Calvin Johnson. They went after him for the signing bonus.
Correct.
What's amazing about this, they're going after kids for money they never gave the kids, which is crazy.
And I think
then,
Kelly
Mike
made a great point though. AG is more of a deterrent. It's a more of trying to
correct. It's a penalty.
And you're penalizing the kids.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something else.
And they open themselves up for the NCAA because the reality is, see, the NCAA is a cold mother because they got tired of everybody bitching and complaining. So guess what the NCAA said? Okay, we're gonna let it be the Wild Wild West, and that's why you see all the stuff that you see. But the thing is, guess what? Y'all still try to implement these rules and say it can't be a punishment. Well, that's what it is. So all it's gonna take, like, the NCAA, they're going to be the ones who are like, hey, hell no. Because all it takes is one good lawyer to say, you know what, this is a punishment, class action. And now, just like how they gave a class action suit about these kids using name, image, and likeness, that now you're in violation. Right. Because, you know, so now, you know, all these kids got, you know, bare minimum. The kids, if they went to a Power 5 school, got, you know, 70, 80, you know, $1,000. Some kids got 200,000 for this NCAA thing. Right. So it's gonna be real nasty as this thing, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like FAU is looking at it from a perspective. They're trying to, you know, set a tone and a precedent, and they're gonna go ahead and get at these kids, blah 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 blah. But what happens if these kids just decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and sue FAU, the NCAA, and all that kind of stuff? You know, because you brought up a valid point. You brought up a point, and I don't think nobody listened. So what is a kid supposed to do? If you the kid and you on the team and they come in the middle of the season, the NCAA, if they don't do nothing else, you cannot negotiate during the season. Because what they're trying to do is lock you in because they think you're gonna be good and afraid you're gonna leave. Right. But then you had January, you could have gave them some money, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. But once that season starts, that it just don't look right. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It don't look right. Like, you can't just come in the season, because what if a kid says no? I got off, I said no, then, you know, I guarantee you, like, now, hey, I can play with, hey, you know, you said no, you're not getting the ball. Don't think they won't do it. We've all been, you know, in schools and even in the high school level. We know that politics come into play a lot. Because technically, don't get it twisted. They don't need you at any school. It's 85 players. They can make whoever they want to start. Don't get, because that's why you have guys that are elite, and then, you know, you're like, man, where was he at? He was at Miami. But I never saw him play, but he even played 10 years in the NFL. Right. You know, so, you know, you don't want to be in that situation too. So people, like, you know, it's just, man, it's amazing how people just automatically assume. The problem is, once they put it in the paper, it's the truth. It's the truth. These kids are money hungry. These kids are this. These kids are that. I think it's crazy. So because honestly, the money's with the schools. They're the ones who got all the money. They got all the money and the resources. Let me just say this last piece before I push on. I got a couple more callers. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this deal. So if you're in, make sure you stay in.
The conference has been locked.
Get this number down right quick. Here's what I want to say. I had a player a while back. And you guys know I'm not a huge fan of private schools. And this was one particular reason. I had a young man that played at a certain private school, decided to transfer out of that school and come to a public school. While he was at that school, again, they have a tuition at a private school. He was on a free scholarship, as they say, with my air quotes up. But they had his parent doing certain things around the school, which I didn't think was cool. Not working in the main office. Well, I'll say doing some custodial stuff. All right. Here's what really pissed me off. When that kid decided to leave, do you know they presented them with a bill for $20,000? See, it's the same concept. What they want, as long as you hear, oh, it costs you nothing. But as soon as you decide to leave, oh, we got back pay. You got back pay of $20,000. Now, mind you, that kid helped put that school name on the map. That kid, you know what I mean? Risk his life literally. You had his parents out there doing cleanup around the school, and then you're going to try to do a bill as a deterrent? That really pissed me off. Now, of course, they had to go get their lawyers and all that stuff, and they backed off of it. But just to try, to me, the audacity that, let's just say, even if that worked, if I was a kid, how could I play for y'all? How could I play for y'all when you turn on me just that fast because I wanted to leave? And the only way you're gonna do it is you ain't come and try to talk me out of it. Like, hey, buddy, so what's going on? Why you want to leave? Oh, no, hey, here you go, bro. When you try to get your transcript to go to that school, we can't give you a transcript because you owe us $20,000 since you enrolled in 9th grade. But you told me.
Oh no, you gotta know about that story.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
I know that kid and everything, which is crazy because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they always say they care about your kid, you this, you family, all like you say, that family boy. I'm telling you, you gotta watch that.
You say that, boy.
You know, like because the minute that you don't want to do what they want to do, it's an issue, and it shouldn't even be like that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, hopefully, Lord willing, you know, like they will get some structure around here. The kids don't go through, you know, what they go through, because like I said, when they start going through discovery, and they start going through phones, and they start going through stuff like that, it might not be work. Because one thing, when you look at the HBCUs, and this is another thing, if I'm a kid, why would I go to a group of 5 when I go to HBCU? You want to know why? The HBCU is expecting you to leave in 2 years. They're not going to try to trick you. They're not going to try to hold on to your money. They're not going to do any of that. They like, matter of fact, if you don't if you don't make it, they're looking at you like something there's a problem. I know a kid that left HBCU and went to a Power 5 and with the blessings of the whole HBCU. And he got more money than he was getting more money than the HBCU than probably all those guys at FAU put together.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, but you know, the HBCUs are like, the thing about Group of 5s. The problem is they need to know where they stand in the pecking order. Like we've had this conversation, Coach Hayes.
There you go.
When a woman, you go to the club, you can't be in there with Beyonce and thinking y'all on the same level. That's the problem. The Group of 5s really believe they're on the same level as some of these Power 4s, and you're not. Because I tell you what, when a coach leave a Power 4 and he goes away, that's because that's how they're looking at it from a university transfer. But that's a little different because he has a little power. That kid has no power. Because technically, like, you know, these schools, what people don't realize, they can pick up the phone and call. They're going to call the Group of 5 and ask about the kid. So what happens if the school shitted on the kid and said the kid was a bad kid or what have you? Right. And then so maybe he lost opportunities because he couldn't go to this school because they believed that this kid was so bad. I got a rule. If the kid is that bad, why the hell are you playing?
There you go.
If his attitude was so bad, what was you playing for?
Come on. Hey, I love that kind of stuff because I've had coaches call, this kid. Well, coach, well, what's your standard at your school? Do you allow kids to do X, Y, and Z? Nah, coach, we don't play that.
Right.
But if this kid was that bad, then why he your leading running back? Why he your leading receiver? Why he your leading tackler then? See, that right there tells me the story. Now, if you come in and be like, yeah, coach, you know, I had to bench him for 4 games for this. You know what? I've talked to this, that. And I can see that pattern. I get it. I love that part. Yeah, 100%. But AG, dog, let me roll, man. I appreciate it, dog. We're going to definitely chop it up, man.
Always some good stuff.
And like I say, man, great information. You know, like I said, we're not going to let this go because here's what I know. You know, big fish going to be all right. It's the small fish that people try to pick on and use. You know what I mean? I don't know why the FAU story caught so much fire. Maybe because it was 4 of them at the same time. But this happens at every school, everywhere. I just read it. Like I say, Oregon's about to take this boy to court for $10,000. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he paid him the thing. He just paid it a little late.
Bro, he
literally paid it. He paid it like a day or 2 late. And they're taking him for the 10 grand.
Bro,
He
what's
paid
that?
the 29 grand like a day or two late, bro.
And here's the crazy part. What is that going to cost Oregon in lawyer fees, filing fees, and everything else just to go to
They got
court?
boosters that it don't matter.
No, but what
The
I'm
boosters
saying is,
don't care. Oregon ain't paying that.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is, how stupid is it? You're going to overspend what you're trying to collect just for what? To screw
No,
a kid over?
Oregon's not spending nothing. But the thing is Oregon. See, the difference is this: you're Oregon. A kid would take his ass to Oregon with all that because you got the gear, ain't no kid not gonna go to Oregon behind that. But if you don't think in Florida, kids ain't looking at FAU like, hell no, I'm not going there. You was 4-8 last year.
Right.
Like if you go 4-8 again, trust me, you're fired.
But
what
I'm
it don't
saying
make
is,
sense.
even as a booster, whoever's paying it, why is it? What I'm saying is your motive that strong towards a kid to get 10,000 that you'll pay 20,000 to get 10,000 just so the kid pays? Damn,
and people are petty, coach. Like what do you always say? Hey, there's petty who? What do you call you?
I am Petty Pendergrass. Yes, sir. I'm Petty Pendergrass.
Yes. If you work 200 million, 20 stacks ain't nothing.
Hey, just to show you,
I
got
the power.
They
got money to just because also it's that whole, if we want, I don't want to go there, but see, you just made me do it. It's that whole slave owners mentality.
All the mercy.
Like they don't nobody like the slave that went and had the contract read and realized it's bullshit and hey, nobody want that guy.
Tell
Nobody
them about
likes
the gun
smart
line,
slave.
boss. Tell them about the gun line.
Yeah, they don't want that guy. So like that guy. Oh, I'm gonna show this Negro that he ain't in charge of nothing. Yeah. Come on, bro. Let's be real about it. Let's just if we gonna call it, let's call it a spade. Don't nobody want that guy. You better do what I tell you to do. Let's just be real about it. And because really the NCAA is probably the biggest plantation owner in the last 200, like in the last 100 years.
Oh man, they been listen.
If we just be real about it, all these schools, they pimp these kids and these families and everything else. And the minute that the kids and families fight back, then it's an issue. Or the minute the kids and families say, nah, we're not going to do that. Like I said, this is the first time ever, where in the history of America has someone had to pay something that they never got? Seriously. And to be honest, for all these people talking, you won't even find a court case that happens. So it's a frivolous lawsuit. They're just trying to get people to settle out of court and get anything they can get.
Yeah. True story, man.
So let's just be real. In the history of America, you have never had anybody like literally like do that. And you never will. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, Coach Hayes, I just spent a little time on your show. I want 10 stacks. If you don't give me 10 stacks, I'll settle for 5.
Well, you better sue me for 3, because that's all I got.
And I'm going to sue you for 3. You already know. And we'll settle for some chicken wings. How about that?
How about that? I buy the wings, you buy the bill. Even
I got you. Yeah, consider it done.
My man. All right, bro.
All right, there, boy. We good now?
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.
Yeah. All right, shout out to AG. I'm going to take the last 2 calls in here. I got Chris Kane, and I'm going to end this thing out with my man, Stretch. I ain't talked to you in a minute, Stretch. Where you been, boy? Huh? Chris, what's up, man?
Yo, what up, Coach? What up, Coach?
What's happening, brother? Talk to me.
Man, I'm chilling, man. Been a rough week for you boys, man.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man. And lost a brother.
Oh, man.
Lost a younger brother.
Oh, you know what? I saw that, man. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I did see that. I think I did see that online. So,
yeah,
man. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, man. Lost my brother, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So basically, this ain't nothing. It's just what I'm about to compare is basically what they've been doing with the NCAA. It's just in a smaller circumference. Remember what Suge Knight did to Pop? Pop wanted to go ahead and venture off.
All right.
Wanted to leave Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but this is what you owe Death Row.
Okay.
This is what you need to go ahead and do for Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
Death Row East, all this other kind of stuff. It's the same thing. Oh, let me crack my can. So basically, all it is that they're just pimping these kids out. And if you don't do what he said, like the last caller, he was absolutely right. He was dead on, nailed it to the T. That's all they doing to these kids, the plantation. If you don't do this, oh, you owe us this. If you don't do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this.
So Chris, let me
Oh,
ask
you
you.
Want to leave?
Mm-hmm. Well,
It
Chris,
is
let
what
me
it
ask you a
is.
legit question.
This is what you owe.
Okay, let me ask you a question. And again, I'm posing questions to create dialogue. Here's my question. When the players weren't getting paid, whole thing was to plantation. AG just said like slavery. All right. Making all the money, getting nothing. Now players are getting paid. And instead of them using the you get nothing because we gave you a free education angle, they are now saying, oh, if you decide to move, then you got to owe us for other things. Here's now my question. What would make, if you were the guy who had the magic wand, and I'm not asking you this to give me a definite answer. You may have one, but just to start the conversation, what is truly fair then? What is truly fair?
Basically, somebody stepping in and making it fair on both sides, where both sides are going to have a give and take. It can't just be all boosters. It can't just be all kids. Well, the kids want to come in. They want to be the highest paid person. And they want to be like, oh, well, I want to go to this school. Or you want to go to Michigan? We'll give you $15 million to come here. Oh, okay. Well, let me go to Ohio State. See what they're going to offer. Oh, they're going to offer me 18. So what you going to do? You going to match that? Or what you going to do? Well, I'm going to go to Miami. And Miami going to offer me 22 million. I'm just throwing these numbers out there. Nothing, set in stone. But again, it's like an auction for the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? And there has to be some type of come to Jesus moment about this situation, because eventually it's going to get out of hand. It's already rocking the scales as it is, coach. You can't just come in and just say from a kid's point of view, oh, well, I'm the top five. I'm a 5-star athlete. I'm a 5-star best linebacker in the nation or whatever. So I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to see what they offer, and then go to somebody else and see what they offer. You ain't doing nothing but auctioning yourself. But on the same side, then you have the ones that's coming there, that's the boosters, like, hey, listen, if you come here, we'll give you this much money. Coach Hayes, if you come and coach here, or you come here, or you being a coach, a player, we'll say, hey, coach, hey, listen, check this out, Kyle Hayes. Hey, man, you the number one offensive or defensive tackle, right?
Uh-huh.
We'll offer you $7.5 million to come to Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What's wrong with that?
If you came,
I'm not understanding what's wrong with
right.
me shopping myself around for the best bid, especially if I have the leverage of being the number one offensive tackle or the number one linebacker or the number one wide receiver. What's wrong with me taking the highest bid?
There's really nothing wrong with you taking the highest bid. It's just a simple fact of then you're going to be looking at, well, other kids are going to be like, oh, well, he got this, and oh, I want this, or I want that, or I want that. See, the thing is like you're going there for the money, but you're not going there for the culture. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Now, you're supposed to get paid for your talents, yes, because that's what you have worked from the time that you have been old enough to play football, basketball, soccer, whatever sport, especially football. You from the time that you've been a jit to the time to where you get up to the college level, you are obligated to do so. But there's also got to be something else more.
But I think that's
than
the
just
problem,
money.
Chris. I'll just say this quickly. Before NIL and stuff came in, you know what the currency was? You know what the currency was? What you just said. The culture, the championships. That was currency, right? Now, once you introduce money, the currency is the currency. Meaning It's the dollars. So it's like your job. You work with a guy that does the same thing you do, and you find out he make, just pulling numbers out the hat, you find out he make 100,000 and you making 50. And you more efficient. You got more employee of the month plaques on the wall. You got your own parking space. And you find out little Timmy making 100 and you making 50. But the culture is great. And you go into the office, hey coach, man, I need a raise, man. Look how many times I've been employee of the month, man. Huh? I'm efficient. I'm efficient in my job. I got nothing but
I don't call out.
I don't call out sick. This
Mhm.
dude's sick every week. But hey, baby mama that came to the job, had to call the police. Well, ain't nothing I can really do for you. What you gonna do? You gonna stay for the culture? See, the culture is what paid you prior to NIL. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, because that's all y'all had. Yeah, nobody was getting, I mean, people were getting paid under the table, yes. But we're talking about, for the most part, that's what you had. Now the money's on top of the table.
Right.
It's fair game, bro. Look here. And unfortunately, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, coach.
No, I'm finished.
I'm sorry.
I'm finished.
So I just feel like you should get paid for your talent. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm more efficient, and you know I'm more efficient, and he's getting 100,000, and I can go someplace else and get 200,000, or get the same amount. And me personally, I would be to the point where, look, man, I don't even want more than him. Just match it. This man making what, 120, 125? He making, you know what I'm saying?
But Chris, can I tell you this? You might be a guy. You might be a guy that's a little different than most. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But that's what I'm saying. It's my opinion.
Right.
It's my opinion.
And that's fair.
Everybody else ain't gonna think like how I think.
Right.
They're gonna be like, well, shit, I want the top dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? I want the top dollar, or else I'm out this month. That's what they're gonna think. That's what they're gonna do.
But I do think that's fair. Because remember, go where you appreciate it and not tolerate it. If you're gonna make me employee of the month and you're gonna give me all these accolades and I get all these letter of commendation and this, that, and the other, I don't want to be matched with the dude that's calling out halfway doing a job. Yeah, everybody in the break room laughing because he be sleep on the job. You got the boss got to come double check your work. I shouldn't be on that same pay scale. Now, for some people, it's cool. That culture and those things are more currency than the actual dollars because you make enough, you pay your bills, you have fun, you take your family on vacation, you're satisfied, you're comfortable where you are. But for a lot more people, right? And for me, some people can call it greed. For me personally, pay me what I'm worth. I don't want more. I don't want less. Pay me what I'm worth. And if that's the market and you giving him 100 and he sleep, nah, hell no. That's just me. But
and to be honest, coach, that's a move that I actually did in real life with a job. Because I was working at a place, I ain't gonna say no names, but I was working at a place and I was on the scale for, the largest cashier with the most money. It's $500,000 club, $250,000 club, $1 million club, 1.5, 2 million, 2.5, all that stuff. Did all of that stuff. Excuse me. And did what I was supposed to do, did my job efficiently, came to work, did what they needed me to do, no problems, came in when people didn't wanted to come in, came in when people had hangovers, and did what I had to do. Right. But at the same time, when it came time for that raise, that yearly raise, this is back in like 2009, 2010, coach. They talking about, man, all we can give you right now is a dime. Don't
worry about it.
For a whole year? So check this out. I said, you know what? I don't even want that dime. I said, it's cool. So what I did, I took my talents elsewhere.
There you go.
And I made a lot more money. I made about $4 or $5 more.
There you go.
More an hour with full time. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
I did what I had to do because I felt like I was worth more. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're unappreciated or anything like that, it's a hurtful feeling, especially if you put in the time. If you there 6 months, you tell my man, I need me a raise, I need this, I need that, I need that. They're gonna look at you like you're crazy, like you just got your ears ain't even wet yet. You know, your ears ain't even dry yet. Like you still wet behind the ears, you still got a lot to learn. When you put in years, when you put in time, when you put in the effort, when you sweat, your blood, sweat, and tears, doing everything that you're supposed to, and they still crap on you, coach. That's a hurtful feeling. So I get what it is with certain things. With some of these coaches, I just don't want people to be greedy. Get paid what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want people to just think that it's just being greedy as far as that. Oh, and also,
and
the
there's some
shocker,
people,
I appreciate it, brother.
like that. There are
and
some people.
everything
There
like
are some
that.
people out there like
Appreciate
that. That it's greed. They want more, but they haven't done more. I'm talking about for the people
Right.
that's done more, and that's what you deserve. It's just that simple. Now, if you haven't
Right.
if you haven't
Exactly.
done more and you want more, then hit the bricks, dog. Hit the bricks. But real quick,
Right.
real
'Cause
quick,
Oh,
David
go ahead.
Staples said, "Coach, look up clawback clause. That's what FAU lawsuit is based on." Okay, I'm reading it here, and David, I may be wrong. I may be interpreting it wrong, but I don't believe so. What is the meaning of clawback clause? A clawback provision is a contractual or legal clause that allows an organization to reclaim funds that have already been paid out. These clauses are most commonly used to recover executive bonuses, sale commissions, or sign-on bonuses if specified triggers, such as financial restatements. But I think that's different, Dave, because the players we're talking about have not been paid yet. These are for people who kind of, I think AG or whoever was talking about with Barry Sanders, where they signed a new contract and got a signing bonus, and then he retired. So they wanted their signing bonus back, hence the word clawback clause. These guys haven't even been paid. So they're trying to get money from guys that haven't even been paid. You see what I'm saying? They signed the contract, but they haven't been paid yet. That's the issue. So I think you're on the right track, just a different train, if that makes sense. But I appreciate that, David. Thank you, man. But go ahead, Chris, give us your last one so I can get Mike Lowry on this thing. Brown Sugar.
Yeah, that's pretty much it though. I just was like, if you put the work in, you put the time and the effort and everything in, you get what you get paid for.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you were Jeremiah Smith, that young man is a dog. Whatever it is, that boy is a dog. Pay him top dollar. You feel what I'm saying? But if you sitting around here, not grinding, not doing what you're supposed to, and then you just want stuff handed to you, that ain't gonna fly. Like, real talk, coach. If you see me sitting over here, now I'm gonna be honest with you. I could be one of your players. I'm gonna be a little thirsty, but I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna play because I remember what you said before. When I get out here and I coach, because this is how long I've been rocking with you, coach. Huh? This is what you said now. And correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm ready.
When it's time for me to play, when it's time for you to play, and you want to sit there and you want to lollygag and you want to get water and all this other type of shit, you ain't getting in the game. Or sit down. I need dogs out there, man. If you want to sit around and want to get water and all this other kind of stuff all day, sit on the bench. Somebody else gonna go ahead and they're gonna take your spot. Now, me, coach, I have to tell you something though. When it comes to stuff like that, hey, look here, man. I'd rather be thirsty. But that don't mean I won't go ahead and won't play for you. I would just be thirsty. But one thing about it though, I'm putting in the work. You see me putting in the work. You see me trying. You see me putting in the effort. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to go ahead and you're going to give the time for. That's the playing time. That's what you earn. Okay? Let's just forget about NIL. That's what you've earned. You earn a starting spot. Now, if I'm that same person that's sitting there drinking water, not taking on the plays, not taking it seriously, laughing, joking, not paying no attention to what you're doing with this play calling, then when it's time for me to be called up, then you sit here and somebody gets the spot over me. How that's gonna look me coming to you, ask you like, yo, what happened, coach? Like, why I didn't get the spot? You gonna tell me verbatim, Chris, this is the reason why you didn't get the spot, homeboy, because you didn't do this, and this. Okay? So how the hell do you expect to get a spot when you don't even take this shit seriously, man? Okay? If you was over here, you sitting over here, you drinking water all the time. Every time I look, you over here with your head down. You ain't looking at no plays. You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference.
I'll just say
Now,
this,
if you see me over there,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll just say this: I got favorite
I was gonna say
for those who ball. That's it. I tell my player all the time. I got favoritism for those who ball. Right? If you don't ball, ain't no love lost. Man, but don't be standing behind me talking about, hey, coach, I can get in the game. Man, you better catch his elbow. You better get about my man. Back up, man.
Sit your ass down.
Matter of fact, don't even sit down.
That's what you gonna say. Sit down.
No, I won't even tell him sit down. Go get on the bus. Go get on the bus because you ready to go.
Right. I'm man, and then shit, you got somebody out there with a damn heart murmur ready. Put me in, coach. Ain't no excuse. This boy got a heart condition. He out here dogging, dragging your ass because he put in the work. So he's going to earn everything that he gets. That's all I got, coach. That's the difference.
Yes, sir. Well, Chris, I appreciate you, man. Much love to you, dog. I ain't talking to my dog Mike Lowry in a minute, but I'm gonna get him on here on the
line. Yes, sir. Man.
My man, appreciate you. Hey,
all
Chris,
right, coach.
Man,
I'm gonna holler
to you, man. The family
yes,
for your loss, man. Seriously, I did see that online. I want to say Facebook, man. Maybe we Facebook friends, but anyway.
Yeah, man. They took me by a shot, bro. It really did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we'll chop it up.
Yeah,
We'll
all right, coach.
Yeah. All right, real quick before I get Mike Lowry on the line. Real quick to a couple of people about the clawback clause, and this is I didn't know that was the term, but this I do know is for real. I didn't know the term clawback. So David, thank you for educating me on something, man. Commissions. I know people that worked in commission fields. I worked in the commission field before, and hell, I didn't know that was the term, but I knew this. If a company pays a sales rep $2,000 commission for a new contract, but the customer cancels within a designated window, so let's say 3 months, the company may claw back the commission, forcing the representative to return the funds to protect the business from unearned revenue. Now that I know of, right? For example, y'all don't even know this. I used to work at MCI WorldCom, right? That's way back. Y'all don't know. Selling long distance. Shout out to my homies, man. Money out that thing. My boy West, 519. We were just on the phone. And he talked to them boys in a minute. We worked at MCI. Keep a comment in your paycheck. Anyway, we get back. I knew that when you have commission, if people don't keep a service for X amount of time, they'll pay you the commission. If the people meet that window, no problem. But if they didn't, you have to buy it back. They didn't use clawback, but they call it buy it back. So you always had to have a little reserve until those people got beyond that window. So I know that in some cases. I know even in the real estate business, when you, say you sell a home, realtors get a commission, right? You get a commission for financing that home, right? Not the realtor, that's not the broker, for financing that particular home. If you pay that home off too fast, guess what happens? That realtor is screwed because the bank or the loaner, the people who loaned the money didn't have enough time to earn that commission through the interest and all the other things that go back. So, yes, thank you for that. All right. Real quick, man, let me get my man Mike Lowry. We won't be on here for 1 minute. We got 1 minute, and we getting up off this joint. Mike.
I knew you were going to motherfucking try to keep me locked down.
Sir. You know why, Mike? Because
yesterday's price is not today's price.
That's why, Mike. Talk to me, man. What's up, man?
You just want to ride me. That's all. You want to ride your dog. You ain't had nobody to ride in a while. It's all good.
Yeah, that's
Hey
right.
man, I'm hitting you up, man, because I didn't know what the going too far was. But I'm mad that my little cousin done switched out on us at the U, man. And then I got another scenario where that shit happened to me in college where I needed my transcript to transfer to Missouri when I was in Cali, and they wouldn't let my transcript go. Talking about I owe them some money, so I had to motherfucking drop out of college.
Mike,
I
you got
refused.
kids on the thing.
Huh?
Kids on the show.
Oh, yeah, man. My bad, man. You know I be getting into that. I be getting my bad, man. My conversation be sometimes be trying to be normal. I try to use words that ain't in the normal conversation of politicking and coercing, and you know. But I understand. I'll change it up a little bit. But back to what I was telling you. So yeah, I don't know what happened with the FAU players. I definitely don't know what's going on with the quarterback because I'm out of the loop right now. But I'm glad football season, you know, that period of the moment where the football season was dead, and we coming back until we're going to be right back in the summer workouts. And, you know, football season will be here before you know it. You know, you got that clock behind you still ticking. So I appreciate that, you know, winding those time now. 'Cause I remember when that first thing said 200 and some days on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But Coach, bring me up to speed. So about to go on too far. What happened?
Gone too far. Just all right. You want to know the truth? I'm gonna give you gone too far. I think I got it. I don't think I got it. I can't do it to you, dog. I can't do it to
You be wildin', man.
There was somebody else, nasty bathroom. Dog. Some dude had some more nasty ass bathroom. But anyway, yeah, bro.
Gone too far.
You done gone too far. You're gone too long. Where you been, man? You all right?
Hey, Miss Wilson still hanging in there from over here where I live at, huh? I see she be calling in still. I like that, Miss Wilson. You know you my cousin. We need to hook up sometimes, baby. I'm on the same coast as you.
Okay.
You know, we're not in South Florida. We're in Southwest Florida.
There it is. So what's
No,
up?
but Coach, I'm just mad about my cousin, man. Well, I told my cousin that he was gonna switch out. I remember telling y'all about I had wanted him to go to Ohio State, and he had went up there when they played Michigan, and he didn't like how Michigan planted the flag in the middle of the Buckeyes and all the fight that happened that game. And you know, I told him that's where he needed to go. So he wanted to find another place that producing receivers like Ohio State. And I just told him, I say, listen, Kevin Beard is doing a good job, man. Yo, we're not where we need to be. We haven't had a lot of first rounders in a long time. We haven't produced top ranked receivers in a long time. LSU would be a good spot for you. But I told him, I said, I don't like how Lane Kiffin did my cousin at FAU, just to bring up FAU again. You know, Lane Kiffin, he does what he want to do, how he want to do it, when he want to do it, and he don't care about, you know, having ties cut with whoever he deal with. You know, and it's a shame. And I'm glad these players getting their money, and they do just because when I played, you know, like it was a lot of stuff going on the table, and I wasn't one of those players that was getting on the table the money. You know, I was living off the $60,000 a year and trying to make ends meet and work, study, and have another job at the same time. I'm playing football and on the student government board. And, you know, so I understand what the true athlete goes through when he's not the elite of the elite. You know, like what Nick Saban was doing for the players that he had up there, Alabama or Georgia or even Miami, the stuff they went through back in the day. So I understand what players want. I understand that the NCAA didn't want to be a part of it no more, where they was limited people, like you say, the destroying effect. And you should have had a right to open up a business or have name, likeness, and image, you know, and revenue sharing. Because guess what? Ain't nobody was watching Tennessee before Peyton Manning was watching and playing. You know, like Then we seen T. Martin after that. But then you go back to, ain't nobody was watching South Florida. But then all of a sudden, you watching South Florida. Like a lot of these people didn't have no TV deal, you know. But we know that they was packing the stadiums and selling all the beers and charging $50 for a parking. You know, just a lot of different things that the player didn't get no sharing on that he should have got, especially the top players like Peter Ward or Charlie Ward or Andre or Philip or, you know, Vince Wilfork or Warren Sapp. These players play Michael Irvin, or we can go on to Ward Dunn or Charlie Ward, you know, Chris Winkie. A lot of players brought people to the stadium. And back when we played, we didn't get none of that. You know, we might have got under the table, but we didn't get none of the things that we are allocated right now. And so, yeah, a lot of people are going to take you to court because that's what they do. Like the guy said before, the other caller, a lot of people they're sue happy. And they feel like they can find a innuendo, way to get in to get me a little piece of change. So yeah, it's the wild, wild west, and you know we can't control it. You know, it's unlimited money. They're making billions of dollars. You know, they've been doing it for years and years and years, and now the player has an opportunity to capitalize on it. And there's a lot of different things that are stopping them from getting the money that they deserve. You know, so I feel like, you know, we should create a union. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the money should be allocated to the players that have a following to get those ads and those big businesses that are contributing to, you know, your name, likeness, and image. I don't feel like you said some of the players on Miami Hurricanes only making 60 bands. And, you know, and everybody got to remember that these scholarships are not 4 years. So every year is a renewable opportunity to get more money or less money. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why the college are getting so frustrated when they done changed the whole process when I played to a 4-year scholarship to a 1-year renewable scholarship. You know what I mean? And it's performance based. You know, when you got a scholarship back in the days, you had that scholarship for all 4 or 5 years till you was ready to go. But now I got you on a time clock, and that's not right. Because I could be in a school and I don't produce. Now the next thing you know, they take my scholarship, and now I'm left with the tuition, the bills, the books, the Chromebook, the rent, everything but my degree.
True story.
And so it left a lot of people like me, you know, with debt. And I went to school for nothing when I knew I really didn't have to go to school. I can open up me an LLC or S Corp or C Corp or a church or a nonprofit, and I ain't have to go to school for that. But you know, they don't teach us that. All the trade schools in high school are gone. They're not doing trades no more. So we going through schools and we're not learning nothing. We getting out here and we letting the computer do everything for us, call our numbers. We don't know numbers by heart. So everything that we're doing is programmed, and we're in a box. So of course they're gonna keep their foot on our neck if we don't know anything about the law and the system of things that we're operating in. But then you have some players that do, and they do the things like they do. They step out and they leave a program that they wasn't happy with because they're getting a bigger bag, like a Mensa or our last quarterback or the quarterback before that or anybody else that leave. But look at Jeremiah Smith. They offered Jeremiah Smith a bag. He didn't leave Ohio State. So it's just like, oh no, it ain't about the bag too. Sometimes it's about the experience. It's about the people that we meet. You know, the connections that we make in school. So it's just a lot of different things that go into what is the player worth? Why is he choosing the school? Why do he want to stay there? If he's not staying there, if he's not happy, why he wants to leave? It's just a lot of different things. But you got people like Ja'Cory, our guy that played for us and that went to Central Florida, and now he gets the opportunity to be the starting quarterback at, I think, Akron or somewhere. Where he went. But he done got the short end of the stick for a long time, and you know he's still going about trying to make himself a pro quarterback. You know, there's a lot of different things that go into us not being able to reach our potential, but they have made it possible for us to make ourselves a trust and an entity, and these kids need to take advantage of it, because if it was me, man, I'd be eating it up, man. I see my NIL on 247. I see 1 million. I'm going harder. You know, couldn't stop me. I have a camera following me everywhere. I'll be on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, whatever I need to. I'm generating ads. I'm doing everything. You hear me, Coach?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I ain't got time for you to be talking about you counting my pockets. My pockets are unlimited, cause shit. My hand is at the finger of my phone. My hand is one button away from ching ching.
That's right.
So I just feel like I don't know what's going on, but I would have sued if you playing with my money. You know what I mean? Like, you already got me on a one year contract, and then you ain't guaranteed to bring me back. That's what happened when we was talking about the stuff with Colorado 4 years ago, when we all came together on the what they call us, the coat. Yeah, they were dogging us about how we dissected. When I was telling them guys, like, listen, you bringing the new guys, these other guys done put in work, but some kind of way you ain't want them to be successful, politicking. So you done brought another guy that did a little something at FAU, but he wasn't a hell of a lot. Shit, you know, he ain't. A lot of the players that Coach Prime posted kept, he let go, and they end up becoming. Look at the tight end and the receiver. The one that was at Arizona State and the one was at Oregon. Coach Prime had them right in his palm. But he wanted to be Coach Prime, like he want to be right now. Call me. I want to tell you how to handle my son. Coach Prime, sit down somewhere. Like, you can't be in charge of everything, Coach Prime. And that's what kids need to understand when they're doing this NIL. They can't be in charge of everything. Every glitter that glitters ain't gold. Sometimes you got to read. Like, I'm mad about my cousin going to LSU. You should have stayed in Miami. We Florida boys. You living in Miami. You're down there off Brickell. Why would you go all the way to move to LSU to stay in Texas to drive an hour to go to the game? Yeah, it's a good college experience. Yeah, it's such and such. Yeah, they put out. But you see what Miami doing. So a lot of these players be making decisions, and their family be making decisions because they get in the bag. But they ain't validating the economy. They ain't validating the pick up and move, the relocation. They ain't validating the experience or the road that we're traveling on, the journey. You're just going for the bag. And then when you don't get the bag that you want, you got something to say. Or when you do get the bag, you're going to chase another bag. So, it's damn if you do and damn if you don't, man. I just want these young men to capitalize on their success, build up their credibility with the fan base that they're with. Don't leave us heartbroken. Don't leave us stricken. Leave us in a good position where we can continue to grow and maturate. You know, like, I'm loving where the Hurricanes at. I love how we've been able to be a part of this historical run that we're on. You know, the transition that we in. Setting the precedent of how you build a team like Texas Tech. You know what I mean? We're right behind them with the money. We got a lot of donors coming in that wants to control things. But at the end of the day, the head coach and the athletic director and the chancellor and the president and the trustees, they do have a say. So we need to get a hold on to what's going on. We don't need to allow this to be a dog-eat-dog world. We need to put a cap on stuff. We need to bring a union in. And that'll settle a lot of things that is happening, you know? Did I make kind of a little sense?
Sure did.
Where that belt at, man? Bring that belt out, man. Go on, let somebody get some BTA before we go.
Yes, just saying, dog. I was looking through my notes talking about why you got a Michigan playbook. This is my playbook, man. Come on. Man, we got notes for days. Listen, I got plays for days, man. I even write them in orange, dog. I've been a Cane for life. Listen.
But how you been doing though, man? School finna get out, man. You got another graduating class coming up, man. Are you proud of your boys? You proud of your status? You proud of you being one of the best math teachers in Orange County?
Math teacher. Yeah, sure, man. I'm so happy. Man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start carrying one of these books again, man. I used to have, man. Awesome.
Hey, reading is power.
No, this was a book, man. I actually got it from I was at the camp up there. I was at the camp. See, got your name on it. Talking about a playbook. That was a camp book. You could write all your stuff in. I used to write all my stuff in there. Like, see, we had the jet sweep out of the pistol. We had all that stuff. Man. I was saying we had jet sweep out of the pistol. Really, it was a counter. I'm looking at it now. But anyway.
You on that GT counter?
No, it was just a single. It was just a.
You run that buck sweep?
No, not much. I used to a long time ago.
What about you run that RPO, fake the bubble, hit the seam. Fake the RPO, fake the bubble, hit the seam.
You can.
I like, what, another thing I like that I've been watching a lot of coaches starting to do. They've been running that Malachi Wildcat, and they'll come back with, I run that Wildcat and run that fake Wildcat, hit the reverse coming on the backside. I want Shannon Dawson to be more creative this year. If that's one thing we can do, stop being so bland and predictable, and run that ball instead of running that ball in the 1 and 2. Get on out there in the 7 and the 8.
Well, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. I know I ain't been on in a while, so I ain't been able to. I've been working at night. I've been working. Oh man, I want to tell you, man, I was part of that shit, man. I just had left, man. We made national news with that lady trying to kick that player and beat that player up at the football game.
I didn't see that.
She gone too far.
She gone too far. You know what else?
Yeah, she gone.
Real
yeah, I was right. I was leaving out of the damn parking lot because I went on down, but I want to see my 12U play because they said that team was gonna beat us. But we've been developing them 11-year-olds for 2 years, so them boys ready to go. They end up beating that team 20-something-6, and they had they was betting, and they was all over social media. That's why it got so high strong, because they didn't expect the team that we had to beat their team. So we went out there and mollywalked them, but I hadn't went down to the 8U team because Philip want me to develop the 8 because we can build our program up. And so I went down to the 8, and as I was leaving, sitting in my car watching the game, I see police is coming out of nowhere. Next thing you know, I wake up to go to work that morning. Man, we all over everywhere, man. I'm like, man, it's crazy, man. We make national news for stuff that we don't want to be a part of, but no publicity is good publicity. Good publicity is great publicity. Any negative publicity is, so it's just, but I try to tell my president, man, let's go to AYF, man. We get on out of Pop Warner. They trying to suspend us. We wasn't even in no Pop Warner league. We was in our own little spring development league where we trying to develop the Timmies so we can be ready for, the fall. And they trying to come down with sanctions, man. So it's just always a lot of things going on, man. You have to help the parents. She's been scrutinized, and she lost her job, and her kids getting hazed, and just a lot of different things that you try to protect the community as well as the college stuff that's going on. That's why it's good for these players to get a agent or a marketing agent or some type of NIL agent or any kind of lawyer that know anything about these contracts, because they can get caught up in the system, like you say, and get fined, and a new ballots come up out of nowhere because they're trying to penalize you for transferring. So with the situation with that lady, I have been trying to tell her, you gotta stay under control, man. This is a man's sport. You can't be out here acting crazy because your son getting hammered or pummeled. This is a gladiator sport. This is
hold on. Did you just say pummeled and then come back and say gladiator sport?
Pummeled.
Pummeled? Listen,
You know,
real
yeah,
quick.
you know what pummeled mean? You know what pummeled mean?
I know
When
what
you
it
get
means.
ran over, you pummeled.
Yeah, my ears getting pummeled right now listening to these stories. Listen, Mike, Ms. Wilson want to know, did you go to Fort Myers High School? And if so, I may have been your teacher. Did you go to Fort Myers High School?
No, ma'am, Miss Wilson. I never went to Fort Myers High School, but you probably do know me. I was a Seahawk. I went to Cape Coral High School. Back then, they had the Desegregation Act where they bust all the African American
You ain't even that
kids from the
old.
inner city.
Stretch, stop it. How old are you?
I'm 46, right behind you, Coach.
He ain't had no. What?
Yeah, man. What you mean?
It wasn't like
We
that.
was the last, bro. We was the last city in America to desegregate, bro. You tripping? You better look up Fort Myers history,
Maybe you're
man.
right, but y'all real late. Well, listen, this is what I want to say. I appreciate it. I'm gonna let you. Ms. Wilson said she would love to meet you. But here's what I'm gonna say.
Oh, thank you, Miss Wilson.
Yeah, she's awesome. David said my ear got pummeled. You're getting pummeled. Yeah. Here's what I want to say.
Hey, y'all can get up off me, man. I listen. My grandma. This was my punishment when I was a kid. Whenever I messed up, I had to get in the encyclopedia and write essays. And if my essay didn't have a couple words in that I never had in my vocabulary, I would have to write another essay over and over and over. I had all the essays, all the atlases. Bruh, my grandma made sure I was very educated. I might not use the word in the right context when I'm talking, but I know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I hope you didn't have to read them because they would have been really long essays. But with that being said, let me play my music.
I love you, man. I miss you too, man.
Love you too, bro. I miss you too, man. Don't be a stranger.
Appreciate you.
With that being said,
Hey, tell
y'all check
V12,
us.
tell V12 and all the boys in the back there in the back room, man. Hey, it's almost that time. We got 2 more months.
It's over.
We'll be at the doorstep again.
Well, let's what? I got 2 more minutes, and I'm gonna use them by saying goodbye. Real quick, I love everybody.
Hope all is
Appreciate
well,
everybody,
and I hope you're doing good. I hope you haven't scared us in a while. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're still walking around your community complex. I hope you eating healthy. I hope you stand off that cane juice too. All right.
All right. So, with all that being said, for the 4th time, I thank y'all so much. We'll be back tomorrow for Miami football talk, which is Canes Talk Live. Ooh, it's been a lot going on in Cane Nation. All right, we're gonna talk about Darius Hayes and a couple other things, man. But with all that being said, I do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. This is a serious deal. I hate to see these kids getting railroaded like this for trying to better themselves. The school should be ashamed of themselves, and we'll definitely talk more into it, man. Appreciate everybody that called in. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button. Y'all saw I put that new Poor Little Timmy shirt up there. Y'all go check it out. Y'all tell me what you think about it. We got a Skeet Get Some t-shirt. Shout out to Dave. David Staples said we need to get a You're Gone Too Far shirt. So we're going to design one of them too. But we're going to make it happen. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, man. And we out of here. Peace. Man, what in the goddamn was he talking about? Mother, love it, mercy, God. Somebody go drown the goldfish. What in the God green earth? Ain't talk to Stretch in goddamn 9 months. Man, come on here just running his mouth, bloviating, pontificating, vacillating about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Some lady done kicked somebody. I had to get out the car. Man, what in the God? Why in the hell LMV ain't pull the plug? Just pull the plug, LMV. Jesus. She the producer and produced the headache. God. Oh, Lord, this thing's still on? Oh, My bad, Stretch. I ain't really mean all that. My bad. Bye, y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. Damn, boy, you gonna be hot.